Welcome to the I'll Chat podcast with me, Beth,
Josh
and Ryan.
This podcast is all about exploring the big questions, the small moments and everything in between.
Whether you're stuck at the shops, in traffic or just looking for some inspiration, our chat is here to keep you engaged.
It's time to talk, connect and find meaning in those everyday moments.
Welcome to the I'll Chat.
Welcome to episode 21, 21 if you're French.
Have you just Googled that?
No, I know what 21 is. I didn't know what 21 is, by the way, because we did French in school.
Yeah, I did.
And because my birthday was the 21st of November, so 21.
Okay.
I also know how to say je habite à Liverpool en Angleterre as well, but not that that's ever got me anywhere.
Je m'appelle Beth.
Je m'appelle Ryan.
Oui.
Anyway,
Anyway,
yeah, moving on from the French vibes.
speaking of like milestones being a 21 episode, we've just got over the 1,000 followers mark on Instagram,
Sick that.
which is a nice feeling, knowing that the the page is growing, and that goes for like the YouTube channel, the Spotify, the analytics. Ryan always goes on about them, but we always want you to like sort of, I know other not suppliers, other people like content creators or people who are out there putting their work out. They want feedback. For us in particular, we absolutely thrive and love when we get like feedback, comments, like even like subscribing to the channel. You don't realise what that does for our like analytics. So please, thank you for following. Keep sharing our stuff. We'd really appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Ryan's fuming. That's his little script.
It's not. I'm not fuming at that. I'm just thinking, I can't believe you said all that. Anyway,
But it's right though, isn't it?
no, it is true. I think.
Why do you mean you can't believe you just said all that? It's really nice, I think.
No, I'm only messing.
Been practicing all week.
I think it's funny because, like, obviously in today's day and age, 1,000 followers isn't a big milestone, is it?
No.
But we know that those 1,000 people have all been organically sourced. There's no like bots in there, and there's no like stupid little things, because we've tried our best to follow almost every single one back, based on the fact that we've looked at the page once they've followed us and stuff like that, and we can see that there's a real connection of why they followed us in the first place. So that thousands will obviously grow, and hopefully it will grow with more organic people.
1,000,000%.
Like that one?
And we've actually got Beth in the producer seat this week.
Yeah. Again?
They know I'm in the producer seat.
She's
The
making a
camera's
permanent
already
spot
been
of
on
this.
me.
Oh, is it? Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know. I can't see what's going on.
Don't you worry, love.
Matty's off gallivanting. He's been to
Where's he? Bahrain.
Bahrain shooting.
Straight to Cannes.
But what was he shooting for in Bahrain? We give him a little mention here. He was shooting for that company, the brand.
Wasn't Vicentius, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but it was a campaign version. Not I don't know what I'm even saying here.
Sponsor.
No, like a... When you like bring out a certain product and you call it like that line, that range, the range. It's the Leo range, Stephen Gerrard's son.
Big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah,
Well,
of
and
course.
Josh for getting that in.
So yeah, it's a big deal, and I'm really proud of Matty. So well done, Matty. And
Yeah.
then he's just
Got no time for us anymore.
I know, you know what I mean. It's just being Beth's having to step up
Again.
step
Yeah.
into his shoes even. But I hope you're enjoying the holiday, mates. When this podcast goes out, you'll be back and be in the seat by then. So yeah, how's things with yourself? Are you enjoyed the bank holiday weekend? Yeah, of course.
Do you know, I don't even know why I'm saying this at this point, but I nearly worked with a friend of ours, Laura Wade.
Did you know?
She was looking for someone to second shoot a wedding with her on the Sunday of said bank holiday weekend.
This weekend?
Just gone.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on Tuesday.
But when this goes out, it'll be like 2 weeks
Yeah,
down the line.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
the time, chronological order isn't in place for this. But yeah, she messaged me directly and said, oh, I've got this wedding. They've just put a lot of stuff on me, like the groom's riding by helicopter and all this other stuff. She's like, I'm
Bougie.
thinking I'd probably need bougie. I need someone else to come and shoot it with me. And I was like, yeah, cool. And then to my detriment, even though I agreed and said yeah, she'd sent me a couple of follow-up questions after it.
And you didn't get
And
back?
I didn't get back to her because it was like family time got in the way, like making the kids teas, getting them ready for bed and all that type of stuff.
That
So I
life.
didn't answer it back immediately. But in my mind, I was like,
You knew what you were going to say?
in my mind, I was there. Like in my mind, I was going. I'd said yeah, that type of stuff. And then yeah, by the time I'd actually got back around to it and answered, I think she was flapping a little bit because the bride wanted an answer. She'd
I get it.
got one of her regular second shooters in spot, which I totally understand. But I was close.
It was nice to
And
ask.
Laura Wade, shout out for you. I'll be out a day with you one time. We'll meet. Arch nemesis. Not
No,
the
it's
case.
nice though, isn't it, when you get like other people that we highly rate, and
Yeah.
Laura Wade's one of them.
I think I always use Laura Wade as like a staple point.
Is that the word, pinnacle?
Yeah, but I don't say pinnacle in her case. But like a staple point of, she works in a lot of the same venues that we do.
Yeah.
And when I talk about that venue, I see her as like
Her work.
the top in that
Yeah.
venue.
Okay.
So when she approached me to like
West Tower in particular, you
West Tower in
mentioned?
particular, I'm basically saying, yeah. I was quite flattered, because obviously
She's lovely.
you spend your whole time, don't you, just like in a bit of self-critique and doubt and whatever, even though you know you're quite capable of doing everything. It seeps in. And when someone in your industry who's in the exact same line of you goes, I rate you, do you want to come do this with me? It just feels a bit like, oh, little pat on the back for myself there.
We love Laura.
Yeah, she's
And we love working with her. We've worked with her a few times. Obviously, we do video, so we get the chance to work alongside her. And she's amazing at what she does. And I've got a few more weddings this year with her, so look forward to seeing you there, Laura. We're currently knocking a wall down in our house, so our house is like a building site. Yeah, it's like that film, what is it? Here's Johnny! But the full walls come down instead of just like a hole.
Just the door, the whole wall.
The full walls come down. So that's our current situation at the moment. New cars. New cars. We're gonna
Plural, yeah. Someone's doing all right.
Well, tax man, we're doing really bad.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny? I keep saying this tax thing.
You're drawing
but
attention
it's
to it.
because Mimi Bell, when she said that joke and it just like a hit,
Yeah,
it was
I
so
know.
funny how she delivered it. So if you're listening, Natalie and Dom, hello, shout out to you guys. But if you want to touch on weddings of the week,
Well, I only did one wedding of the week, and that wedding just so happened to be with yourselves.
oh lovely.
Second shooting for our
Do you want
mates
to talk
Memory
about
Box
yours then?
Films.
Yeah, so you was obviously my second shooter of the day at West Tower for Molly and Callum. It was
Molly.
a boss day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice,
The
actually.
weather was just unbelievable.
Outside ceremony.
Outside ceremony at West Tower, the sun was shining all day. Just
I
the
just feel
vibes.
like from when we were at my brother's wedding at West Tower, which I always refer to all the time, but we were there as guests, and it was an outdoor ceremony. The weather was gorgeous all day. It was just a perfect day. And I think because it was at West Tower and we love West Tower, now when we got the privilege to go and capture a wedding outside, although we love the inside as well, but outside in particular, it brings back such like a nostalgic feeling of like, oh, this is the perfect wedding day.
It was just one of them days that just like grew and grew and grew, didn't
Yeah.
it? Like at first it was all like quite calm, peaceful, serene, that type of thing. And then as the day evolved and like people got used to the weather and the outdoor feeling, it was like a bit of a, it kind of felt like you were abroad a little bit as well.
It does,
'cause
doesn't it?
It
At
was
West
that
Tower.
warm and stuff like that. And like and it had all the elements that you would want in a wedding day. So all the big moments for us. So like, confetti shot was in there.
They had the champagne. There
Champagne
was a few
tower.
There was a few things that stuck out to me at this stage.
The
So they had
Rolls Royce sitting outside front, uncles or cousins, like old fashioned car.
Yeah,
They had all the glasses on,
yeah. Here,
All the trends.
all the trends
well,
basically.
all
yeah.
the trends. However, the trends for the wedding breakfast room at the minute is neutrals, as we all know. And she just went out there with pinks, floral
Oh yeah,
colours,
pinks,
didn't they?
reds,
Everyone's
totally contrast, and it was lovely. I don't think I've seen. Well, this is not detrimental to anyone else who's been there because obviously we're all here. But like, I don't think I've seen West Tower look as well used.
Really?
Let's just call it that. Like,
she had balloons, like
Instead of,
not
like,
as
centerpieces?
centerpieces, but like just dotted around the room. But it just worked, didn't it?
Yeah.
There was like disco balls all over the tables. Everyone's wedding favours was like bright pink sunglasses. Like
Yeah.
it was just proper cool.
It was
wasn't
boss.
And I was like,
It was really
this
good.
looks amazing. No, because it's
Different.
something different. I was like, this looks so cool. And one other thing that stuck with me, I don't know if you were there when she said it. We were working with Whitney Lloyd, photographer. And,
Shout out Whitney Lloyd's photography.
Yes, shout out Whitney Lloyd. When we like obviously said to Molly the bride, like, oh, how you having? Have you had a nice day or whatever? And she went, you know what? This is the best day ever. Like you hear so many people talk about their own wedding days and like something's gone wrong or like
Yeah.
they're stressing over something or like they just didn't enjoy themselves. And she just said like, I have just had the best day ever. Like I've obviously had this book for years. I had us book for years, and she was like, it's literally everything I could have imagined and more.
You
I
could
was
see,
like-
you could see that in her eyes. You know, at
Yeah.
the just before the champagne tower,
Yeah, that's
when we
it,
were all
yeah.
getting set up, and it was like the sun was just going down. It was getting that orangey glow, and by that point, everyone had a couple of drinks, but not too many. And you could just see, like, while we were getting ready to shoot the the tower moment, she was just like dancing away to herself, and you could only see happiness in her eyes. It was lovely. Like, it was so nice, wasn't it?
It's lovely to hear that, and like, I want to touch on my wedding because it was a similar vibe in terms of the brides and groom's feelings. And obviously I'm going to go on to talk about their wedding day, but Lauren and Tom, I actually bumped into them yesterday, 2 days after their wedding. I bumped into them in town. They were getting last minute bits for the honeymoon, and it's very rare that you bump into your bride and groom like
so
a few
soon,
days later.
yeah.
And like, the way they spoke about their wedding day, they just said, we're literally sat on a cloud now. We're literally on this cloud, and we're walking around the shops with this Cheshire Cat smile on our faces because we can't believe we've just got married, and it was literally better than we ever expected. And she even said herself, as a bride, when you're planning a wedding, you put so much pressure on yourself, and people give you their like 20p advice, what is it?
2 pence.
2 pence worth of, like, you know, their opinion.
20p.
It's too much.
Cost of living crisis there.
Well,
You don't even give you 2 pence anymore. 20p you give.
That's it, 20p worth of advice. But
There's a clip.
defo. And she was just saying, like, it gets in your head a little bit, and people were saying, it is what it is, you know.
You're
You've
speaking
got
past your mic.
I know, you've just got it in. Hello, baby. You've just got it in.
There's a clip. Listen.
Cut that bit out. You've just got to enjoy the day.
Yep.
And like, things do go wrong, which you've just said then. People do say that all the time. Things can go wrong, but you've just got to, you know, take it as it is. But I will touch on Lauren and Tom's day. It was a beautiful day for the most beautiful couple. Lauren and Tom, love yous both. They were a gorgeous little family with Mila. I felt like I was a part of the family.
I think you should read out her
message to me.
to you the following day. Wait till you hear
but
this
while
one.
I'm on the topic of the wedding day, she got married in a church, and then we went on to One Fine Day, which is a gorgeous venue.
Shout out One Fine Day.
One Fine Day, working alongside Peter Hughes Photography. I had the pleasure of walking into the venue, seeing it lovely dressed by Thornton Events, and then greeted by my good friend Abby Hanlon, or as Ryan likes to say, O'Hanlon.
O'Hanlon. It wasn't even me who made it up.
I know, but it's just stuck now, isn't it?
Oh.
I think if
Sorry, Abs.
Abby listens, I know it's funny. I always call our Ab in a weird way.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You go, Arab there. So the other day when I reshared this stuff, I was going to put Arab singing. But yeah, Peter Hughes, Patrick second tutor, tall Toastmaster Stefan.
All our mates, basically.
Basically, all our mates were on that day, and it was just class. But Lauren sent me this message after the wedding, which really got to me. She put, I don't know if you've got my email. Oh, hell. Don't know if you've got my email. But
how lovely is that?
But she must have sent me an email Sunday morning. So she must have been thinking, why hasn't he responded?
Anyway.
But I did respond to this message because it was gorgeous. And she put, I don't know if you got my email this morning, but wow, that teaser video. I've cried all day because I'm so sad. It's all over. Josh, you were an absolute asset to have as part of our wedding day. I had no doubt you'd just fit right in, but I didn't realise I'd feel like you were like a brother to me. You're amazing at what you do. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
That's nice, though.
And I just thought to myself, no one has ever said that to me. Nobody's ever said.
I think for you, though, as well, for you, to say, you've known him for a while, haven't you? Like,
well, we know his sister Lois.
That's
that
what I
was
mean,
our
like,
first way in, and then we did Faye and Tom's wedding. Shout out Faye and Tom at West Tower.
They were there, wasn't he?
They were our competition winner.
Yeah,
but do you know what was funny? I had 2 previous brides to this wedding. We had Rachel and Matty there at Chilwell Cricket Club.
Yeah.
And then we had Faye and Tom at West Tower. And then I had a new bride who's already booked us for August this year. Yeah. So I had 2 bridesmaids there who were like, one had booked me and one had already done. And then I was present at the wedding.
I feel like you're feeding in a little bit. Remember that story that I told you about the 5 brides and the one wedding?
You're the one.
And you buzzed off me for it, but doesn't it feel nice when you're surrounded by people that you connected to?
I felt like I didn't know what to say. I felt like overwhelmed. I thought, oh my God, like yous have put this, like, not trusting me, but yous obviously like what I do, like what we do, sorry.
I think this was one of them weddings where, like, you knew it, from our point of view as the, like, creative, you knew it was more than just what you were making.
Definitely,
he wanted you there specifically.
Yeah.
And I think when you get into weddings like that, which we've alluded to loads in previous episodes, like, when you get a couple who you know want you there, and like the product is like a secondary, they're the weddings that you want, and for that they couldn't have been any more to the top.
Honestly, it was It's all, I don't know, I am not
Getting overwhelmed. Why are you trying to... Why
It was though, because I said to Beth, and I even said to my mum, funny enough about it, because I don't really speak to my mum about like weddings and stuff, but I said like, this girl has basically messaged me saying, I was like a brother to her on the day. Like how lovely is that? But also on the day, the DJ, who I've never worked with before, called Dan Mitchell, who I'm going to give him a little follow now while I'm thinking about him, because I've just went on his page. I didn't know him, only because Abby had tagged him in this post. But Dan Mitchell said he listens to the pod. Shout out Dan. What a guy. And what a DJ, by the way. He was hitting banger after banger. What was so nice about it was I went over to him just to speak and be like, "Hi lad, you're okay, I'm Josh, blah, blah, blah." And he was like, "I already know you are, because I listen to the pod." Once again, another moment where you go, what do we even say? Like, when your people are coming over to you going, "Oh yeah, I know you have the pod."
Whose ears are we falling into?
This is why I said at the start of the pod, please like, subscribe, send us a comment, even if it's privately, just so we know who you are, because we want to like reach out and speak to you and connect. Do you know what I mean? We want this podcast to not just be like just a podcast that we put out there. We want to sort of not create a community, but we want people to like, we want everyone to be involved in it, who listen especially as well, because it's for them, and you know, creating a wider audience as well.
And
but
somewhere down the line, being within that community might pay dividend to those people. Let's just say that.
well, that's it. I think
We've got plans.
we have, and yeah, just not much. I'm trying to think of more stuff that happened at Lauren and Tom's. Sorry, yeah, there's me parcel here.
No.
Hiya, mate.
Oh, hi. Sorry to bother you.
Go on.
Yeah.
Dub-
211.
211. Okay, do you want me to read it back to you? So it's 078.
Yeah.
This is staying in.
And what's your...
I'm not asked, it's staying in.
My name is Dr. Cadway. Q for Queen. E Echo.
About 5 o'clock.
And it happened around 5
5
o'clock.
Yeah,
Okay, perfect. I'll have a look for you, mate. Thank you for that. I think I've lost you there, mate. On the Wi-Fi is terrible here.
Can't believe that's just happened during the pod.
I
That's
know.
staying in, that.
Are you there?
All right. That's great. Thank you.
Thanks,
Take care.
mate. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I don't know if you thought you were just behind the door the whole time.
I know, yeah. People do that though, don't they?
Yeah.
Pretend that they're not in.
Fuck, really?
I think so.
Whoever's out there who's like blagging that they're not in and they're talking, the house like, yeah, mate, just throw it over the fence for us. Put it behind the bin
I'll be asking them up on me.
in the jammies. Yeah.
Anyway,
Good deed,
so,
mate.
drawing that to a close, should we get our guest on?
We shall. I'm excited to get this guest on because it's the first of the kind to be on the couch. No,
Yeah.
that.
So, obviously, the other week we had Steve Walker on, which was like my doppelganger, let's just call it that,
Yeah.
my counterpart in
Yeah.
photography. This person is like the
Oh.
other side of you, really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So, obviously, people all know by now, but the person that we've got on is a filmmaker within the wedding industry, travels all over the world, Europe and beyond, filming. He started off, from what I know, as an entrepreneur from school.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't like what was going on in school. Built himself a couple of businesses up. Found videography as like a second thought originally. And it's just progressed from there. And since then, he's been able to build up a massive network of people who look up to him as an individual in our world, who's just far and above what expectations are there. I don't know what to say that. Obviously, I haven't rehearsed this one,
No,
have
but
I?
I agree with you. I've seen other podcasts like mention him when he's not even on the couch as like a standout like wedding filmmaker.
Yeah.
So he's like really, really high regarded in our industry
Sought after.
for what he does. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to like chew his ear off about his beginnings and you know how he his approach to the day, so we can compare. Well, not compare, but you know we'll get an insight to how he approaches the day from a wedding film point of view,
Yeah.
just like we do.
Sought after member of the community, none other than family man and filmmaker, Greg Burnett.
Yeah.
There he is, Greg.
It's strange, isn't it? I always think when we were doing and starting the podcast, and we always said once the videographer on, like if another videographer like ourselves, you were always the first name that we come to. I'm not just saying that because we've just started the pod, but it was. I don't know whether that's because Ryan knew you beforehand or we were like, always aware of you when it comes, like, especially when people ask us, oh, do you work with any videographers or do you know any?
Yeah.
You're always the first person, as well as 2 other companies that we always refer to. And it's weird because the 2 other companies that we refer to, the only reason why we do refer to them is because they also do photo as well. So we've worked with them previously. But this is the first time we've met you. But from a social media point of view, I feel like I already know you because
you feel like
your socials, and you're so great that you're like...
And I talk about you all the time.
Oh, thanks, like.
Your ears must be burning constantly. But it's like the likes of the behind the scenes and stuff for us as another supplier. And what I noticed, and I'm probably going off on a tangent, I'm going to give you the chance
Give us a chance, Josh.
I just feel like I'm giving my side of the story of how I know of you as well. Who was it? So that was it today when we shared the story, basically saying you were coming on and asking questions. The amount of other videographers that like followed our chat was just insane. So how this is my
off
first,
the back of saying it,
So like this is what really loads of videographers. So I thought, wow, like you must have a massive influence on other wedding filmmakers and just filmmakers in general.
Can I quit my job and call myself an influencer now then? Or?
I think you might as well, because I think a lot of people, and obviously you've got the Avanza the workshop. I feel like I'm just going through all your like credentials.
Maybe one point in it we'll get the chance to speak as well. But
go on now. So I'm just
the floor.
I've waited so long. That's what it is.
I know what you mean, and it is definitely that as well from my point of view. I think there is like a certain like level of credibility and like stature that you come with when you walk into the room, because you obviously are so good on your social media, which I've definitely noticed from like the first time I met you way back at Charlie's Chance, I think, if you recall. That was a long time ago. From then to now, the level of like your personality and persona that's come through your social has just gained you that additional reach where people feel like they know you, which I guess that's a conscious thing of you. I'm sure it is anyway.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, thanks for your kind words. That was beautiful.
I don't even think I give you any kind words.
10 minutes in, first chance to say hello.
I was just like spieling.
No, I love that. Yeah, no, do you know what? It's weird, because I think I believe that people buy from people, and I've always wanted to make sure that like my face is kind of the forefront of what people are buying, and that type of thing, really. And I think it's kind of like not like necessarily age old, but there's so many people out there now who are doing what we do in the wedding industry especially, and you'll go on the page and they don't post about themselves at all. And I'm like,
I'm guilty of that, like.
So am I.
But I mean, obviously you've got the podcast to show your face, and obviously
that was the reason why we started.
I know that. Yeah, exactly. So, but I think for me, when I go onto a supplier's page and I see them, and even like when you get tagged by a suppliers on the day of the wedding and stuff, and you're like, I don't, like, obviously you've got like the names of like, the people at the Instagrams and stuff like that, but the reality is that you can't remember who they are sometimes because the wedding's so fast, and you know what I mean, so you want to have that connection, and like I say, so I've had, we'll probably get onto this shortly anyway, but even kind of when I've done inquiry calls with couples, we'll get on the phone and we'll talk about like F1 or football or like the kids for an hour, and then they'll go, yes, I want a book, and I'm like, you don't even know me packages. And they're like, well, we just wanted to make sure that actually the person that you are online is the person that we're speaking to on the phone. And I was like, that's fucking sound.
That's what you want though, innit?
Yeah.
Like I've had it this weekend and like the previous weekend where you have like couples who you just feel like you've known them all your lives, and you've met them that weekend for the first time, and I think if you could have every wedding like that, it's perfect, isn't it?
I think, I don't know if you know Gav Alexander. This is a mouthful, isn't it? You know Gav Alexander.
It's took a while,
Do you know him anyway? But anyway, he said to me at a recent wedding fair that, like you just said there, like there's so many of us out there now, like, and it's a brilliant thing that there's such a massive creative community. It's boss for us to like obviously share ideas, network, all that type of stuff. But he said the one defining factor that separates most of us, because the technology is the way that it is who we are. And I think it's a funny, like, I don't know if the word double entendre, but like we spend our do you like that?
That was a massive word. That for
we spend our time, like, well, not everyone, but like some of us prejudge ourselves about what we're putting about ourselves on our social media, when realistically 100%. That's our biggest strength, is who we are. And like we've just alluded to very briefly there, like it's kind of one of the biggest reasons why we started this, because me personally, I'm very like critical of what I put out about me. I always want to, but then you're always second judging like the production of it, and does it look right? Is the lighting right? Because you're a photographer, so you should know that it should be the best look. And
definitely, yeah.
But yeah, this is why this was formed for me anyway.
Yeah, love that.
I've literally went into like my own zone, and I was thinking about Coke Zero giving me heartburn.
Is it because I said double entendre?
And I was also thinking, you're the only person from Bootle who knows a certain word like that as well.
You know, I'm not from Bootle, that out there.
Where are you from, Greg?
I'm from McGull.
McGull?
Originally, yeah. And I moved down the south end of Liverpool because of my wife. And
so you're posh now?
Well, if you want to call it that,
to be fair, he wasn't not posh before. He was from
McGull.
McGull. That's like a posh Liverpool, that really, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose
maybe not in your eyes,
that,
but like to me, coming from the rough streets,
from the ghetto,
I had to get it in. I felt like when you said that word, you just teed it up for me. I've started already with locations, but
talking about locations and starting, I think we mentioned it there, like it's always a good idea, because I expect a lot of people, like we said there, will already know who you are, but for the people and potentially the couples who don't know who you are, it's always a good chance for us to get the person behind the brand out. So an origin story is where that usually happens best, and that leads us on into further things. So I know that it wasn't always the videographer Greg Burnett that we know now. So tell us the story that you told me, which I love.
Wow.
Where did it all start?
How long ago?
Before video.
Okay, so we'll go right back then, I suppose. So when I've left school, I've ended up doing a hairdressing apprenticeship, and then got into barbering. So I've done that for done hairdressing and barbering more so than hairdressing for 20 years.
What made you do that?
I didn't get the results in school that I wanted to be honest. And
I love the honesty.
Yeah, and my mum's friend's daughter, who was obviously also my friend from school, she was going to do a hairdressing apprenticeship one day, and she just said, I'm going to sign up on this Monday.
Yeah.
If you're free, come along. And I was like, no, I'm one of the boys, I'm not doing that, like, fuck that, you know, that type of thing. And then I was like, do you know what, I'm not doing anything else. So I've gone down in my best Lacoste tracksuit type of thing. And,
what all the barbers wear.
Dress to impress.
Dress to impress, exactly that, yeah. So I've gone in and literally, so how it works in well, I don't know how it works now, so I can't comment on that, but how it worked 20 years ago. What they do is they go, so Greg, where are you from? McGull. Ryan, where are you from? Where are you from, Josh? And then they go, so you're going to work in a salon by where you live, basically. Like, they try and put you as close to home as possible to eliminate some of the travel elements and stuff. And then they give me a job in the city centre working for the college. Like, you know, more or less. So I got, like, the best job out of it all. And I was like, I didn't even want to be here. Do you know what I mean? And I've ended up getting one of the better jobs and stuff.
Your feet.
And then got really well looked after. And then, like I say, ended up deciding more or less about 3 years into a 4-year apprenticeship that I wanted my own business and stuff. And that was only, must have been like 18, 19 at the time. And then, yeah, just kind of opened barbershops and went on from there. And then, yeah, 20 years
So
on.
the entrepreneurial part of you stemmed from when you were doing your, obviously...
I mean, you could call it that, or the fact that I didn't like being told what to do.
Was that always you?
Never
like
took
in
direction.
school, like...
Never took direction. And even like school report, it was always like, Greg could do better if he applied himself and all, you know, that classic.
We've all
kind of,
been there.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like I say, I always wanted to do my own thing because of that. Then, and then social media become a part of the business with the hairdressing and the barbering and stuff. So I bought cameras.
Yes.
Look at that.
And then
that's how easy it is.
Just that transition is just like that. It rolls off the tongue. Yeah, no, I'm only joking.
Then I was in Lake Como filming a wedding.
Yeah. I know. So, but then actually, the part that you probably know, which I'll tell now, was one of my clients was Mike DeScala, who's out of Camel Fat, as you know, cutting his hair one day, and he goes,
"Shout out Camel Fat."
Shout out Camel Fat. Yeah. Can't discount them. So anyway, cutting his hair one day, and he says, "Oh, you've got a camera?" And I was like, yeah. I was like, "If you ever need any press shots or anything like that," and this was just like purely photography, by the way. And he was like, "Well, weirdly, we've just had a call from Creamfields, and one of the DJs, I don't want to say who I think it was because I don't want to get it wrong, but someone's just dropped out and we've been asked to cover the steel yard at Creamfields, playing to like 10, 20,000 people. And I was like, wow, that's amazing, like, you know, well in, like, type of thing. He said, but we need a promo video. Can you come down tonight and do it? And I was like, yeah.
Tonight?
Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, tonight. And I was like,
The pressure.
Yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine, yeah.
Ringing everyone, going, your haircut's booked in for 7, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do tonight.
Well, luckily enough, this was a Saturday, so I was definitely off the day after anyway, so it wasn't an issue. But gone down, filmed them at Creamfields. They've reposted a story on Instagram, and then I left Creamfields, and then the phone's just going off. Like, you know, can you film my event? I didn't know you filmed it. And I was like, yeah, I've been doing this for ages. I just didn't tell anyone about it. So there was almost like a fake it till you make it story behind that, really. And then how me and Ryan know each other as well is through, I used to DJ. So I used to play at Mansion.
No,
Yeah, so
I didn't know.
So I used to DJ as well.
Fucking hell.
So then I kind of left DJing because of like the family life, and I had kids and married and all that. Shout out my wife and kids. And,
Get that in first.
Get that in, yeah. And then
Helen, we love you.
Helen, we love you. Yeah, we do. So ended up leaving DJing and all that because of, like, the family life. And then I got back into filming events. So the whole reason of leaving DJing was to get out of the 3 a.m. finishes. Yeah. And then I got back into it, and I was just like, yeah, this is just killer. So I need to get away from it. And then in the meantime, we got married. And we got married in Italy. So my mum brought our videographer over. And at the time, I remember my mum saying, so I'll get the videographer for you as like a wedding present. And I found out how much he charged. And I was like,
I'll have a bit of that.
Well, no, it was the other end of it. It was like from a client perspective, I was like, I can't believe they charge this. This is mental. Like, you know, good job. I'm not fucking paying for this type of thing. And then when we got the film back, I was like,
now I know why.
Wow, like this is how it's made me feel. And it was just like a real moment. Like, so I've gone down to the office to pick it up, as we all do or did. I used to send out USBs. I don't know if you still do the same and stuff. Yeah. So at the time, he said, I'd usually send it out in the post, but because your office is round the corner from my office is round the corner from your work, do you want to come and collect it? So I said, yeah, okay, I'll be there in 10 minutes type of thing. So I got in the car, shot to, and obviously he's got it on a big screen and in the office type of thing.
Just
like,
you on your own?
Just me on my own, because I was literally going after work.
Dicey.
So he said, do you want to watch like a minute or two of it? And watched, like, say, literally a minute. And I've stood there and cried with him.
No
way.
And
I was just like, I can't believe, like, this can have this impact on people for something that genuinely I didn't want.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just didn't want it at all. And then, yeah, and I think there's every story that I hear about people who get into weddings and stuff, and even like planners and florists and stuff, they see it from a wedding, either their own wedding or a friend's wedding, they go, I could do that. And it was definitely that, do you know what I mean? I was like, I could do that. And then I found out one of my friends was getting married. In fact, the same person who was friends with the other person I was going to do the hairdressing apprenticeship with, so it was kind of all weirdly connected. Yeah.
Meant to be, some people call it. Yeah.
So I've ended up filming their wedding at Formbiol. And
shout out Formbiol.
How funny is that? Like, that was one of our first weddings, in Formbiol.
Was it?
Yeah, where all the dreams are made of.
Yeah, it was actually the last place the last time I filmed there, to be fair. The first time, yeah, but I haven't been there since.
That's a step.
Yeah.
Sorry, Formbiol.
Used you, abused you. See you later. Now I'm in Italy.
I know. But yeah, then from then it was just like, just kind of spiraled. One question that comes up to me quite a lot, and it always seems like a flex, and it's genuinely not, but how do you get into destinations? And my second ever inquiry was for Spain. Boss. And I was like,
that's how you do it. So
I'm gonna get paid to go and film your wedding in Spain. And I was like, this is my second ever wedding. I was like, this is sound. So yeah, just kind of gone from there, really. Yeah.
Did you train yourself then, or was it like?
Oh, it was just countless hours of YouTube, but I've always been into tech.
Yeah.
So it was just like I had to get the best gear and that type of thing. So at the time, it was the A7S2, Sony A7S2 had just come out. So I was like, right, I need to get that, and just taught myself and just kind of went from there, really. Yeah.
I think that definitely happened to me as well. Like I was doing it for a bit, like purely just based off like instinct and trial and error and stuff like that, and then you kind of get to what I thought at a certain point in your mind where you're like, hang on a minute, this is becoming more than it's just like a couple of little things here and there. This could, not only could it be something bigger, but it looks like it is going to be something bigger. So I feel like I need to really like hone in now and like really deep dive onto like all the technicals and like know exactly what this does from every point of view.
How long have you been doing it for?
Oh, so
Take us back.
we got married in 2017, so from 2018, so what's that? 6 years.
Seems like similar.
We're very similar.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
similar. I feel like everyone started that. Even Steve
Walker,
Walker, like I envisaged that Steve Walker had been doing it for like 20 odd years because he just had it like figured out and like everything just
I think it's similar to yourself.
Yeah, exactly
It's
the
like
same.
you've sort of, and I don't know what your first few years were like filming, but it seems to me from an outsider looking in that you just creased out all them like, this is what I need to do, this is what I feel like it was only after COVID where we really like switched into another gear, weren't it? Where we were like, right, we need to push ours. By the way, Beth is here.
Beth does talk, by the way.
I am here. It's just hard to quite multitask, but I'm here and I'm absolutely sweating.
No, I've just turned that radiator off because it was on 5. So yeah, put on 0. Just so
big shout outs to the radiator, by the way. I feel like we need to make a point about this because this radiator that you see behind Josh, right?
I hate it.
We cannot stand the fact that it's there. But we robbed these couches from next door.
We didn't rob.
We borrowed the couches from next door.
Permanently loaned.
Yeah, we
permanently loaned these couches from next door, but they just don't quite crop out that radiator for us.
Yeah.
So in case anyone's ever wondering, that is a radiator, and yeah, it's on full blast all the time.
So my back is like dripping.
Stuck in.
But yeah, I just feel like when I seen you, I think do you know when I seen you for the first time? I think it might have been your podcast. Because you did a podcast when you mentioned before, like you have already spoke. I was thinking, how have they already spoke like in this depth? But it was your Connected Dots podcast.
It seems surreal for me really because like I think sometimes I forget how much or how many times we have actually spoke. Like we mentioned there that we met originally at Charlie's Chance Black Tie Ball on a Christmas, which I can't even remember when that was, but it was before COVID, so it must have been in that 2018/19 realm, somewhere in that area. And I remember sitting there and I was like, oh right, because most of the time when I was going to anything, whether it be like weddings or music or whatever, there was only ever me. And then this one time there you was standing at the bar and I was like, oh, you had a gimbal on the thing. I don't even think I've seen a gimbal in your hand these days, but like at that time it was there and I was like, oh yeah, he definitely does like something here. So I asked the question like, what is it you're doing? Are you working with these? And then we had lunch, we had a dinner together, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which we discussed all about like my insecurities and everything, and Greg just put them out like a fire, which
we charged them for the counselling fees.
No, we did, yeah. But it was interesting as well because at that time we were still in like, but it showed like how assured you were that you knew that was like your thing, you had it dialed in, like the things that people say.
I was going to say, do you think because of your previous experience doing the barbering and creating a business out of that and having so many years doing that, did that help you go into this, like another business basically?
I think the business aspect, probably, never really thought about it, to be honest. But yeah, I suppose when you...
Because for the likes of myself, when I started it, obviously Beth joined, she was always a part of it, but it was my thing at the time when I first started it. And I didn't have a clue. So everything I was doing, as I said, after COVID, I sort of creased all them what am I trying to say?
You love these creasing
irons, I know. I don't iron.
It's because he doesn't use the iron.
I don't iron.
He doesn't know what to do. That's why he's like, what do you mean the crease?
But that's when I sort of, after COVID, I sort of understood then, like, how things should flow in the business sense. So I was just curious to see if your previous experience helped.
You were running them side by side for a long while, wasn't you?
Till October last year.
Is that when
I just got rid of it all and just went full-time weddings? Yeah.
I remember talking to you about that actually. Like, I'm not going to go deep diving into that as to whys and stuff. But did it get to the point where it was like, right, this video thing, let's just call it that, is just taking over everything now? Like, it's just
time
such a
consuming,
strong like pull from it that people wanted you at everything that they could possibly get you at. Was that kind of the conscious reason why you thought maybe like let this one? Because I think didn't you have 2 shops at one point?
2 shops,
very briefly,
and a coffee shop. Yeah.
I mean, just throwing up businesses like there's no
coffee shop, you know.
Do you know what? I know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I always had this kind of
that's a lot of pressure and stress, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing like the weddings as well, because we do weddings full time. And when I meet people like yourself, when they go, oh yeah, I do weddings and then I also do this as well, I'm like, how would you find the balance? So you've probably, you know, as you say, got rid of it all. Do you feel the weight of your shoulders? It's just like, I can just
100%. Like
edit now in peace and not worry about.
It's weird, you know, because like when I had the shops, obviously I dealt with like a lot of stuff, like, you know, a lot of shit, to be honest with you, just like with staff and stuff like that. And the videography was always just meant to be a side earner and just like a bit of fun, and you know, but I really loved it, to be honest. And then I just got busier, as you do, you know. Obviously when you get a bit more experienced, you get more work and you're getting put out there to different people and that type of thing. So that just come naturally. But then there was a point where I had this kind of, and I actually think we talked about this on your podcast like a while ago now, but I had this like millionaire mindset that I was like, I mean, that's what I've called it in my own head, by the way, whether that's a thing or not, but probably whatever. But
who's that at the door? Deal or no deal?
Mr. Banker goes off, go.
But anyway, as it happened, I wanted to do everything. I was like, right, I want to make as much money as I can and do everything I can, try and give my family a bit of security, and then by the time I get to 40, I want to retire. And then in the process of opening extra businesses and filming extra weddings and not realising that, like, actually my kids are at an age now where, like, I mean, more so now, but at the time when I'd leave to go to film a wedding, they'd be dead upset me walking out the house, you know, knowing. And I was like, I can't do this for long, because it's killer. And, like, actually, I didn't really have a life at all, to be honest.
I was going to say, running that many stuff, I'm just assuming your time, like family time and even like your own time, must have been like non-existent.
I think you feel that I did a similar, not as obviously on that level. I didn't have my own business and stuff, but while
still had a full-time job though.
I still had a full-time job while I was really running this full-time, you know, at the same time. And at that point, you think, like you've just said there, like you're just trying to do the most for your family, and like that's what it all triggers down to, because it wouldn't make sense if you weren't doing it for them, because you just wouldn't put that many hours into anything ever. But then at the same time, you have this kind of like, and I had it as well, like this like epiphany realization that all they really want is you. They don't want I mean, obviously it's lovely to have a certain level of security so you can go on lovely trips and stuff like that, but all they want is your time, because kids don't understand money. They don't understand like building companies, and nor should they at that age either. 100%. But it's lovely that you've, I think, even mentioned it, the fact that you can get yourself into a subconscious way, because I think most people out there, especially younger people, the likes of like Lucy Conlon's age and around that era, they're all like in their own heads about how much money they can make, forgetting that money isn't the whole be all and end all. Like.
I think once you start getting older and you have to start having a family and stuff, you start to understand how important time is compared to money.
We've said it before. We'll say it again.
That's why, and I would imagine when you've obviously it must have been really hard for you at the time to let go of them businesses, because you've obviously grew them from the ground upwards.
They're like your baby. They're like your
babies as well.
They were.
But again, was there a part of you, obviously you knew the weddings were flying anyway in that sense, but was there any, because you said before like the weddings was just like a bit of a side, like a hobby as such, even though you're a side earner, was there a part of you, or even with your wife, the conversation where you're like, are you sure you want to do weddings full time, or did you just go, no, I want to do it?
Do you know what, like, and I know she's going to watch this, and I'm not doing it because she's watching it, but
Sorry,
genuinely, genuinely, like, she's just the most supportive person I've ever met. And she just kind of said, whatever you want to do, I'm happy to kind of roll with it. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, there was a funny time, really, where it was probably every 12 to 18 months when I'd start a new project. And there was things that needed doing in the house when I was like, once that's up and running, we'll be fine. And then I'd get up and running, and then I'd reinvest all the money back into something else. And she was like, you need to slow down.
When's that picture going up?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But it was just a case of like,
10 years in here, mate.
I know. No, it was like that though, and it was like, you're gonna have to slow down at some point, because
Greg, we've got no doors in the house.
yeah. Honestly, it was like, obviously I'm not as bad as that, but but there was some like things like that, and she was just like, you know, you need to kind of figure out what you want to do. And then the final nail in the coffin was actually the coffee shop, to be honest.
Really?
So opened the coffee shop, and
Can I just ask, because I know with coffee is and I'm sure before you even started to open the coffee shop, you researched into it. Coffee's like this big, massive, global sensation for like customers to buy into. Was that a reason why you started it, or was it because you were a lover of coffee?
Both.
Okay.
To be honest. And then I learned quite quickly that it's not worth anything if you don't sell volume. So what everyone tends to do is when they first open or look at coffee shops is they go, well, actually...
They go for quality, don't they, probably?
Yeah, of course, yeah. But what they'll do is they'll go, right, well, for a cappuccino, for example, you use 7p's worth of milk and you use 18 grams worth of beans. So the actual cost of a cappuccino is like 30p. And if you go to Starbucks, what are they charging?
Yeah, I don't want to promote
he knows.
But that was which winds me up, to be fair. While I've got it, you've got me on the point now. I always order either a white mocha with oat milk or an ice white mocha. This is obviously ice white mocha. The inconsistency, and I don't blame the staff because I know they are who they are. But because Starbucks charge like that's £5.40 for that. My voice broke as I said that because it hurt me. Yeah. £5.40 for that, which I don't mind paying it. But if I had to take that back today, I'm not even messing. I drove away, tried it, and went, what the hell is that? So for you, I know you're passionate about coffee, like the barista side, is it? And that's where people, like the likes of ourselves, I shouldn't really go and buy these, because as you say, these are getting made in volume, and there's no passion in what they make.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But then it's also, there was also an element of seeing that, like the small guys, the independents and stuff, they'd get a hard time from the general public because why are they charging £6 for a latte? Yeah. And it's like, well, it's because they have to. Do you know what I mean? And
they're not
that
getting milk supplied to them for like no pence.
And that was the side of it that I seen quite quickly. And I was like, unless we're selling like 1,000 flat whites a day, it's not worth it. It's really not. Do you know what I mean? And like I say, you know, so I've just said about like obviously, you know, if you're using a small amount of milk or a small amount of beans, and you can make big margins on that. Yeah. But what you don't remember is that a bottle of milk lasts 24 hours. Your coffee, once it's taken out of a sealed bag, you get 3 days on it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So actually, it sounds great in theory, but it's why a lot of these independents don't last. Yeah. And the likes of Starbucks do, because unfortunately, they've got that much of a hold on the market that actually people go to Starbucks and New Costas without even thinking about it.
You don't think of it nowhere else because it's like a drive-through, innit? Now it's so easy to do. And I know you so drink Starbucks
on every corner as well,
literally,
and they are popping up. And I remember I went to Australia in 2012, and they had drive-through coffee shops there, and my sister was living there at the time, and she said to me, I bet you're a tenner in 10 years time we'll have that in the UK, because I was like blown away when I was in Australia that they had drive-through coffee like shops, and they weren't just Starbucks and Costas, they were all different brands, and I was like, oh my god, like how have the so why didn't you do a drive-through coffee shop? I'll go ask with you.
Didn't have to. But it was just like I say, I think with that being said, like I say, a lot of the financial implication come along with that. Yeah. And that was at the point where like Helen would then say, right, we've got to draw a line at this somewhere, because actually you can see that you're not very happy. You can see that it's costing you a lot of money. And actually my passion, like, even though it was just kind of a side earner, it did kind of fall back into weddings. And I was like, I love doing weddings. Yeah. And then literally one of my friends who owns a sandwich shop in the South Liverpool, he basically said to me, I'd seen him, because I used to cut his hair as well, so I seen him not long before we closed the business, and then I seen him about 6 months after, because obviously I wasn't his barber anymore, so I seen him a couple of months later, and he was like, Greg, you look so happy. And I was like, I didn't feel it in myself, and I was like, even like, just like, I don't know whether I just like, I look
the glow,
or, I don't know what it was, but he said, you look happy, and I was like, wow, like I just didn't feel it. So it was like a real moment for me.
Did Helen ever say that to you? Like you looked, did you felt you acted different? Because I know we all know when we're under like pressure, you can be not yourself. You know, your mind can be elsewhere. You're not present, and you're not thoughtful enough.
You're almost putting like a performance on, aren't you, of who you are, rather than like being yourself.
Definitely, But no, genuinely, like say, I know I've said it before, but I'll keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. But she's just been there throughout, and hopefully she never leaves me. But genuinely, please don't leave. Yeah, but no, she's just been the best thing ever, honestly. Like, and without her, I don't know what I'd be doing, to be honest with you. Skint.
How nice is that?
That's boss.
Yeah.
I
Come on,
love that,
Ryan.
you know.
You start doing it for Becky now.
I know,
Look
yeah.
down the lens.
Oh, the pressure
I
there.
love. Does she listen?
Yeah, no, she does. She actually said to me yesterday, I've just finished listening to the Touch and Such a podcast there. I can't remember which one she said. And she said, like, what about that thing? But she'll...
'Cause he doesn't listen.
yeah.
I was
No,
about to say,
she
is that someone to my face in here? I don't know what she was.
I don't know, this episode, I wasn't really listening so much. But she picks up on certain parts of the conversations and asks me questions based on, like, and I was like, you only know as much as me. Yeah, it's the same conversation.
It's funny, you know, because actually, that's been one of the funniest things that I noticed with Helen, actually, in particular, because obviously, you know, don't get me wrong, I mean, I suppose, like, for you too, like, you know, going home and talking about your work, it must be quite normal because you're living it, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, Helen at the moment is, she's like she's actually a letting agent and does social media for this company. And obviously, when she comes home and tells me about work, I mean, don't get me wrong, I find it quite interesting, but there is times when I'm like, oh,
Shut up.
Do you know what Greg's doing? Greg's like, I am interested, I promise.
But, yeah. And then I know that it'll be kind of reflective of what I come back to. And so there's a limit where, like, I won't come back and go, oh my God, that wedding, they had this, they had that, oh my God, it was unbelievable. So I kind of leave the door closed until she approaches about it, do you know what I mean? So, you know, we kind of have our, you know, our moments where we'll talk about work and whatever, but it's kind of a subconscious thing. It's not like we go, right, today, we're putting our phones away and we're not talking about work. It's not like that, but, yeah, and then a couple of weeks ago, I think I ended up putting out, did you see the POV video I'd done? It was like point of view. It was like the, you know, filming the monitor from behind the camera.
Yeah.
I was
you
curious.
I think I don't want to touch on it. I do want to touch on it.
I'm definitely going to touch on it. Go on, what was you going to say?
I was just going to say, I think you're the only one who I've ever seen who's like probably the best at capturing what you're doing as well as what's going on the day. And I know we've had questions sent in, and some of them you know, relate to that. But go on, tell us your story about the point of view.
I've got a question about it, because Becky, funnily enough, talking about Becky asked me, how is he doing that? Because we'll touch on how you do it the other way around when you've got, like, the setup. But, like, she said, how is he doing that? Because the camera's there, so where's the space for, like,
is it a GoPro?
Anything else to get in? Is it one of those...
Just my iPhone.
Is it on like a rig on your chest?
But I've got it behind.
It's on a magic arm, like a small rig magic arm that's connected to my
bod.
top handle.
Right.
So it's all connected to the
It's the rig.
I
I'll
thought
send you the photo so you can put it on the pod if you want.
Have you seen the Insta360, the little things that's like a clip?
Yeah.
I thought it was that. I went, oh, it's probably that Insta360
I
thing.
thought
It's like
it was
that
the them chest GoPro ones.
I
with
thought for a small moment, thought you're right, because you can get them, you can get like a mouth holder. Have you seen them? Thought maybe he's done that, and he's like, look over there.
Do you ever get people coming over to you going, what are you doing there?
No, actually, no. Never.
I don't think anyone questions it these days.
They don't, to be honest. I mean, I'll always... I mean, one thing about the behind the scenes in particular is that...
Wait there. Shout out Small Rig, by the way. I'm not letting you get away with that one, because they are boss. And if they want to send us something, they can.
I'm still waiting. There's a fat chance. In fact, I did ask message Small Rig, asked for something, and they just told me... They actually sent me a link to the website. So I was like, that didn't work.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks,
guys.
But yeah, so back to Helen, actually. So, like, I'm thinking that, like, I don't want to talk about work too much. And then walks in one day, and then she goes, hey, how did you film that? And I was like, she just had a natural kind of, like, interest in it then. You know? And I was like, oh, yeah. So I explained it to her, and she was like, that's so good. And I was like, oh, yeah, nice one. Yeah. So, like, she does pay attention, do you know what I mean? But, like, obviously we try not to, like, go on about it too much type of thing, yeah.
Do you talk about Becky? Do you come in and say,
yeah, sometimes.
the wedding says, hey?
So our thing, and this is like with everything really, like whether it be me going to a wedding, her going to work, or either of us going to the gym, as you know, we go.
Oh, God.
But it's not like, there's no like great science to it. We just go, how was that? That's like the actual line that we use every time. How was that?
How was that?
And it opens it up for as much or as little as you actually want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So do we need to apologise to Becky for like the hour afterwards when she asked that question?
She definitely gets the worst end of the stick. Best laughing at Eddie.
She
I don't know
knows
why
that
you're
you're
laughing, love. I like to build a story. It's such a bad thing.
So I got in the car, I put the radio on.
But the radio wasn't going all the way to 20, so I had to go slightly over.
It's funny how you do that, isn't it? You can't like leave it on an odd number, can you, when you do the radio?
I've never been bothered about stuff like that. My mates are weird about it. But anyway, let's not go into that, because that's a whole different wormhole. But no, yeah, like, I think I see yous as a proper team. like you and Helen, obviously the kids as well, but I see you and Helen as a proper functional unit.
Yeah.
And that's boss because she's not even directly involved in your world, if you know what I mean. Like obviously, like you said, these two live it, like because they both operate in the same capacity, so they can like talk about it openly. Whereas we'd have to have like a switch between us being like dads and family to work style. But I've always noticed that about you, that you are just such a tight like key frame.
You're good at showing it, I think, as well. Like, I know you said that before, which is people by people, and like I'm not gonna go home now and start like showing me whole life on Box films and stuff. But I've always thought that about yourself, where I've been like,
your boss.
I love all the little shows. As you know, I'm a dad, and I think, that's that nice that he's
I
like.
think people warm to that just generally, don't they? Like,
I've loved. I tried to
Stop
make it.
using your kids to sell yourself.
But you know what? Genuinely, and again, I suppose to a degree, it has worked over the years, but it was never been intentional. But again, like the people buy from people, I think it's so relatable because actually, even talking about half term, in fact, I put something up a couple of weeks ago, and it was something so non-work related, and it was about like say the kids or whatever, and they were like, "Oh my god, are you going through that as well?" Do you know what I mean?
Same, just comes around so quick, doesn't it, guys?
It's not such thing as half term, it's just full term all the time.
Oh my god, well I actually mentioned that on my story before, it's just a take in it, but anyway, that's another story.
Love your kids.
I know, love my kids. But but again, you know, people want to see real, and you know, authenticity is what you want to call it that.
We're not all squeaky clean. I think that's one of the reasons why I want to do the podcast, was for that reason really, was to show us behind the camera, just being ourselves. I think sometimes... How do I put it? I think I used to turn up at weddings, and I still do to an extent, where if they're really posh, I'm not going to be like extra scouse, if that makes sense. I'm going to sort of tone the accent down, blend in as such.
See, I'm the opposite.
Where if I'm at a really scouse wedding...
ultra scousing up when you're at somewhere posh.
Yeah, but if I'm at a scouse wedding, I'll blend in then. Do you know what I mean? But then since doing the podcast, it's made me go, do you know what, just be yourself. Because you've already put... I feel like because I've put myself out there on a podcast now, if I turn up and try and be like posh, they're going to go, I've listened to one of your episodes, I can't understand the word you're saying.
People see through the bullshit.
Yeah.
They really
I think they do.
I think that's it. It's just be yourself all the time. And it's like, say, just, you know, just like say, just live it.
I think for myself, it was always a bit of a, I don't know, you're always trying not to be judged. Like, that was my own like insecurity, was being judged for, I don't know.
I think we're all guilty of how like you prejudge yourself.
When you turn into a wedding morning though, and they're all
it's funny really, because like as a person who's a people pleaser, and
that's what I mean.
Openly admit that now, I am that way. But a lot of the time, the people pleasing is myself that I'm trying to please.
Please yourself.
And then because I can never please myself, because I'm always prejudging, you're stuck in this like vicious circle of like, oh well, I can't put that out because that might not do. I'm not even doing it for like engagements or likes. I'm literally not. It's just how it looks to me. Is why I don't do it. But I'm stuck in my own mind about like how I look to myself. It's just obviously quite difficult to get out of.
Yeah.
But I think people love that about you though as well. I think you're really good at being open about it, and obviously on the pod as well.
Oh, thanks, Josh.
Stop it, lads. No, but it's true. I think people, when you listen to the podcast and you listen to yourself, they go, isn't he that nice?
Do these? Do you?
Yeah.
Paul going out at the end of this?
I strongly agree with that, to be fair.
Thanks, lad.
You are a nice guy.
Try my best.
And there's not many of them. I mean, 2 of them are sat in front of me, to be fair. So
you don't have to say that.
Thank you.
How's wedding for you at the moment?
Yeah.
How's life at the moment with weddings?
Good. So actually, the transition from getting rid of the business, like the previous businesses, to now going into weddings, I'm not actually taking any more weddings on. I'm still doing the same, but now it's just like, say, I feel a bit more creatively kind of involved. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I've put a lot more into social media and stuff and that type of thing. So I love it.
It's interesting that you said that, because Ryan at the moment's going through this SEO phase where he's just like ramming it down my throat, being like, SEO, and I get it because it works. Sorry.
Don't think it sounds like that when I say it, does it?
Sorry, Fed Wed Group. I know they're.
I was going to say it wasn't Steve Walker. It was Steve Walker. Yeah. Steve's one of my mates, and he does love SEO, to be fair.
Yeah. And I was going to say, you mentioned the social media. So do you do both, or are you just like social media?
Social media.
Yeah.
Just social media.
Fair too.
I think like SEO is just another beast that I haven't really considered, to
stumbled
be honest.
across, or
I
like,
mean, my website's alright.
Yeah.
And if
I
people,
really
people find
wish-
me on Google, they will, do you know what I mean?
I really wish I didn't stumble on it, because I was at a thing with the Fedwed lads the other day on Friday. It was like an open, what did they call it? Like, you know, you go down and edit.
Oh yeah, like an open working thing. Did he do? Yeah.
I can't even remember. My mind's gone blank. But basically, it's like
Sorry,
you just
Steve.
you go into
You're listening.
work. You're not going. It's not a networking event. It's a work co-working.
Co-working, that's the one. Yeah.
And I got there in the end. So I went there with them, and there was a few people there, and we were talking about SEO and its importance, and they were showing me how it works with their analytics and stuff like that. And I was like, I never even figured this, because I just fancied myself as like someone who was a creative person, and then it was. I think it was Tony.
What's this SEO?
Oh, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. I understood. Well, I thought I understood. I knew what it was about, but I didn't know the levels that it went to. And like you said, it's just a whole nother door. And Tony Hassel, I think is how I was pronouncing his name. I hope I've got that right. He was showing me his like back end of his like whole website and how he set it up and stuff like that, based on things that like stay and
It's not like
and all that.
hidden keywords and all that type of stuff.
It kind of is and it isn't, but from the back, I mean, we only talked about for about an hour during the day that we were there, which is a good 5-hour day. But within that hour, I was like, wow, I am like massively behind on this. Like, we worked out like how our websites are found, and like basically mine wasn't. Say you got like a score out of however many you get scores out of, I don't know what the full score is, but say the score's out of like 50, I was at 0.
Right.
And like the only way anyone was ever going to organically find me on the internet, not social media, on the internet,
was through my website.
If you're actually shut up, was if you're actually like typed in my company name, like that was the only way it was ever going to be found, which I found like just like quite awakening, really, because I thought fucking hell. And Steve said it himself as well. This was like a little compliment to me, which I'll take, which is for someone who doesn't have that part set up on your website, not being as like laid out as it could be, you're still doing a large number of weddings for someone who doesn't have that capacity, which I was like, I took a lot from, to be fair. I thought that's such a lovely compliment, kind of. But then when he showed me about it, and then that Tony just went, mate, I bet you wish you never even asked that question. And that's exactly what it was.
I was going to say, speaking of number of weddings, do you limit your weddings per year? Who's listening? Taxman. I do 10.
I
5 I do, and it's all through the bank.
do you know what? No, I don't. I think I always try and
limit them.
Yeah, I mean,
to an
limit
extent.
to a degree. Yeah. I mean, I think I'd be lying if I said, you know, I want to do 20 and then I stick to 20. Do you know what I mean? I think I set myself a limit for 30 and I'm on 45 this year.
Nice.
So yeah, it's it's one of them. I mean, I've been really lucky in the sense that some of the inquiries, like one for example, I'm shooting in Sorrento on the 3rd of August, and then on the 4th I got an inquiry for the Amalfi Coast, and I was like,
are they next door to one another? I don't know.
They're literally half an hour away. And I was just like,
Give you a dough.
and I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it. And then I looked on Google Maps and I was like, oh, well, I'm there. I'm already there. Do you know what I mean? So like,
Do you know what,
so I was
though?
like back-to-back Italy weddings. I was like, that's amazing.
Do you know, for that couple must have just went, shoo in, no question about it.
They haven't got to sort your flights out.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you've basically saved them, like, however many hundreds of pounds, whatever. And they just go, yeah, I'll just be down the road.
Don't start promising things, right? You don't know. Yeah, yes, I told you.
No, but I mean, like, that's how it would...
Saved you a
If
few
that was
pence.
me, if I was the person asking you about that second wedding, I was like, oh, yeah, I know it's going to cost us to get you over there and stuff like that. And you go, well, actually, it's not. I'd be like, oh, my God, so you're telling me I could have you, Greg Burnett, videographer extraordinaire, and I don't even have to pay for you to get there because you're already there. I just got to pay for you to get home.
Yeah, I did do a reduction on the flights, like, to be fair. So, yeah.
What a nice lad, eh?
Isn't he just...
Hey.
Yeah.
Do you ever go for
Take that $8,000 off you. You only have to get us an easy at home.
Yeah, don't no private jets from me. I'm all
By the way,
right.
that's not Greg's price, and just to put anyone off.
One day.
Do you ever stay for a holiday there, or do you is it just work?
It depends. It depends.
I don't know if I've seen you take Helen and the kids before or not. To a work.
You say things like you stalk people. You did it with the Apres lads.
I don't think I stalk them. I just think certain people who stick out in my mind, who are like, which is yourself.
Yeah.
I just noticed more. That's all it is. It's nothing to do with like being It's just obviously the way algorithms work, as you'll know definitely, is that it feeds back the people that it feels that you put the most interest to. So that's why I feel like I see everything that you put out there because I'm glued to you.
So from last year,
I've
seen nothing of yours.
So last year, not really. I mean, we used to obviously like do a bit of travelling with us and whatnot.
Yeah.
But this year, with it being full time, because last year especially, because I was so busy with everything else going on, I had to make a conscious effort of like, we need a family holiday. So like, I at least I knew that like that 2 weeks in August was ours. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now, all Helen's holiday leave in work is destinations.
Is it?
Yeah. So like it's. I mean, I'll tell you about a couple of them. So like, you know, she's not too upset about it, to be fair. But,
Thank you.
But yeah, so I mean, I've got our wedding anniversary is next week.
But a Christmas is good.
Well, yeah. But yeah, so next week is our wedding anniversary.
How many years married? Oh yeah, 2017. So
7,
8,
7,
7. Yeah, good maths.
I can't count. I was just leaving it to you. Go on.
My maths
I think it's 7.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got a wedding in Portugal next week, which actually falls the day before our wedding anniversary. And I was like, should we just go for a week? And it's the back end of the half term as well. So I was like, yeah, we'll make a little holiday out of it. So yeah, you know, every now and then it does work out that way.
So you are going? Yeah,
we're all going next
boss.
week. Yeah.
Ah, right. I was going to ask a question then. When you said, do you want to go for a week? I thought you meant just you and Helen.
Oh no.
Not the kids. No. And I was like, who's mad than your kids?
Well, there is a couple. There is a couple that we've done. So we've done one in particular in July, and this couple, it was the maddest wedding inquiry come through Instagram, and Georgia, if you're listening, like, you know, big shout out. She's just been amazing, honestly. So she messages me, and it just felt so random. It's like, hi Greg, busy 2024? And I was like,
what month?
Yeah, what's
always?
Yeah. And I was like, yeah. I was like, what? Like, what you're getting at? Like, you know, you after the price, or like you get married, or, you know, tell me a bit more type of thing.
Cryptic.
Yeah. And then she said, no, we're renewing our vows in July. We've been married 10 years in July. And we want to renew the vows and all that, whatever. But we want to do it abroad. But the only thing is, we don't like Europe. And I'm like, okay.
Brexit means Brexit.
Yeah. And I was like, where are we going then?
Let's not get cut out.
But by this point, Greg's ears have picked up, and we're like, whoa, it's not even in Europe. I'm listening.
I'm listening.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, so what then? She said, so I grew up in St. Lucia. And yeah, I really love St. Lucia, so we want to do it in St. Lucia. And I was like, yeah, sound.
Nice, that.
So I sent the quotes and whatever. And then she come back to me and said, well, as it happens, the venue that we were going to get, or do like the vow renewal, if you want to call it that, well, that's what it is. The vow renewal, the place we were going to do it, like the venue just took the piss, and they're now charging a lot more than we originally thought we wanted to spend and all that. So what we've done is we've rented a complex with a few villas on it. So if you want to bring Helen, you've got your own villa. Is that all right?
I don't think she wants to come.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, like seriously, are you okay? Like, yeah, of course it's fine. Like,
and have you not met this person before? This is just a pure out of nowhere.
All through Instagram, yeah.
But isn't that funny? Because
if there's any Georges out there who's wanting to get on a family holiday,
Georgia, call me. No, but like you said before, like I think because you're so personable within your socials,
definitely
that person knew.
She felt like she knows you,
she
and
knew you, like, and that you've got like a family, and that it wouldn't be as easy to like up and leave and whatever. I think that's lovely. Though. Yeah. Like people think like that about me.
Right, Beth, we're going home. We're going to post loads of photos of Jude. Jude sat there, going, I need a holiday. Destination wedding
with you.
But yeah, no. So the St. Lucia one, we're actually just going on our own.
Oh, lovely.
So that's the one we are going on our own. Yeah, but there's a couple where it's like, yeah, we're all trying to go together. So the 3rd of August one. It's the 3rd and 4th of August in Italy now. The 4th of August is my son's birthday. So we were like, with him being, it's his 8th birthday, we were trying to say, like, you know, we're going to be in Italy, but like, you know, we'll still do presents and whatever, but, you know, we're going to be in Italy. Is that all right? And he was like, yeah. So we've told him we're going to rent like a little car, and we're going to do like a little tour of Italy, and like, you know, just drive around, and so
specifically for him. That's
just for him. So yeah, you know, 2 birds, 1 stone, and all that. Yeah.
Ticking all the boxes, Greg. Ticking all the boxes.
I know. I'll try, mate.
In terms of destination weddings, do you prefer destination to home? What's your opinion on it?
I think
we asked Steve this, and Steve didn't really give us a straight answer.
Yeah,
sorry, Steve.
I don't really have preference. And one question that comes up a lot, and you probably get this question a lot as well, like all of us here. Where's like the best wedding you've ever shot?
Yeah. Or, like, I think someone has asked that question, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we'll just still ask.
We'll go on to that in a minute, yeah. So, now for me, I'm trying to tiptoe around this really, but basically, I've shot some, like, super luxurious weddings.
Yeah.
And they felt like the weddings have felt like a bit of a formality. Whereas you've shot, like, lower budget weddings, and it's just been all
The
about
meaning.
the love and the
Yeah,
meaning.
mate,
Yeah,
I completely
and it's
agree
like,
with
actually, I don't give a shit where the wedding is.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't, as long as it's like, it feels right.
Yeah.
Do you know,
Yeah.
I know it sounds like a cheesy, really, but
Do you know what you're saying? Luxurious. I don't really want to like upset anybody. I don't like that. What's the matter?
I was just seeing how long we were on.
50 minutes.
I'm flying, yeah. Because I know we've got so much to talk about still. I feel like, but when you said luxurious, I thought, celebrities.
We've done some
I
other
love Greg's response then. We obviously, you know, what are they called? NDAs,
NDAs. Have you got loads of them NDAs on?
I've never had to sign it.
haven't you?
You never had to sign one? I'm surprised.
But in terms of like celebrity weddings, obviously you don't have to talk about it too much because I know it's like personal and all that. But does it feel with this, what you said about the formality sometimes, kind of feel a little bit like we're doing it for the social media, for the content, rather than the love?
Yeah. So I think like the ones that I've done for couples who have been,
Greg, you tiptoe, you make sure, mate, there's minds everywhere.
I know. No, the ones that I've done for couples who have then been published in magazines and whatever, that was right. That always feels right. And actually, the ones that I've done where I've been asked by the magazines directly, there's no lesser love or meaning there.
Right.
It's just the corporate angle that they come at you with.
Because you're dealing with the magazine, not the
Feels
couple.
less personal.
Yeah, and like, to be honest with you, I'd done one before Christmas, after Christmas it was, and a couple called Tyre and Adam, who were on Married at First Sight.
Yeah. I definitely seen this, like your post.
Yeah. So with them, theirs is like a complete genuine love story. They met on the show, and I don't know if you know the show, 'cause I didn't, to be honest.
I haven't
before.
watched it, no.
I
feel like I should, though.
The format is literally like he waits at the top of the aisle, and the first time he sees his bride is as she's walking down the aisle.
Wow.
So like, but they've give like an like a criteria. I want like a 5'4" girl with dark hair, brown eyes, and whatever. And obviously,
Becky, was that you?
yeah. And they try and meet someone to that criteria. So I've been told anyway, you know, don't hold me to it type of thing. But anyway, the first time he's met his bride is at the aisle. And then a few years later, you know,
So when they get married on Married at First Sight, it's not a real marriage?
No, apparently not, no.
Okay. So when they got married for the real, you were the videographer,
Yeah, so
basically?
the way they explained it to me, it's like a scientific experiment, basically, to see if people can actually form a relationship from not knowing each other.
Okay.
So they met each other at the aisle. They've done like the fake wedding, so to speak, and then actually they go on honeymoon straight away, and then they move in with each other. So literally within a space of like 6 weeks, they're living together, right?
And they have like a film crew following them around and stuff.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Right.
The Australian one's really good.
Apparently, it's quite intense. The Australian
one's really, really good. I've watched the UK ones, never spent enough time because I just think, boring.
I always remember there was a Scouse, like a gay couple, wasn't they, on there, and he was like hysterical.
Oh, really?
I kept seeing that.
Yeah.
I kept seeing that pop up on social media.
The Australian one is brilliant.
Yeah.
Really good.
So in that case, when I've worked for the magazine, they were like, right, we've got this brief to do, we've got this many things, we've got this, and we need the film turned around in this many time frames, and like, you know, it's got to be out before Christmas, and you know, we need to get something out because we need to do like, and it's like,
so you're doing it for the
yeah. Obviously, I was working directly for the magazine at that point, but there was no less love because of the couple. Do you know what I mean? They were obviously just getting paid from the magazine.
Did you feel that you could? I mean, you probably would have anyway, but did you feel that you could be yourself at that?
So yeah, was
the like the film crew there, or was it?
Yeah,
just,
no, there was nothing like that. No, there was like an.
Was you just allowed it to be like Greg's
I'm the
video
like,
day? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that was a funny one, really, because with the magazine in particular, there was initially a little bit of pushback because actually, one thing they asked me to do was to interview the couple on the day of the wedding. And I was just like, no.
That's not your style,
I was like, I'd never do that, ever.
Weird,
do you know what I mean? I filmed the day as it unfolds type of thing. So I was like,
welcome back to 90s weddings.
Yeah, honestly, I was just like, no, that's not me at all, like, type of thing. And they were like, yeah, okay, that's fine, you know. But I think they appreciated the honesty, really, of just kind of like, no, that's not something I'd ever do.
Good on you for like knocking them back, because I think a lot of people would be terrified.
I think I might have shit myself and just
I'll interview them. What do you want me to
do? I'm not even a videographer, and they would ask me to shoot the whole day. I'm like, yeah, of course, yeah.
How did you feel when you got approached by like a big, I know the magazine, can we say the magazine? We're allowed?
Yeah, can you?
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's the magazine,
Yeah,
by the way. When did they approach you initially, or was it just a couple and you found out it was like a...
So basically the first couple that I'd done that were getting published in OK, they didn't have the deal with OK before they booked me.
Okay.
So basically I got booked, and then OK got told that they were using me.
I'm worried about saying okay too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
See?
So yeah, and then obviously from like the results from the first wedding that I'd done, they were just like, yeah, can we just kind of put you on our books as
Boss.
a wedding videographer? I was like, yeah, Sam, just give us a shout if anything comes up, and then something did. But how a lot of them work, so I've been told or led to believe, is that none of them, because most of the weddings in OK genuinely are real weddings.
Okay.
But they will kind of get approached later down the line by these magazines, publications, websites, whatnot. So then the deals will then kind of fall into place later on. So actually, a lot of them are going to be last minute weddings, basically. What? So I haven't, so like with the one that I've done after Christmas, I think I got a call in like the back end of November, and they were like, we need you in 6 weeks. And I was like, and to be honest, it was like, I was obviously free.
Yeah.
But I was like, not like, I don't know if I'll be able to do it. And then it was like, again, it's a magazine. It's like,
yeah, good for them. Yeah.
So like, do you know what? I am actually available, so let's do it. And then,
So I was going to say, because when you said, I don't think I'm free or anything like that, I know with GB Wedding Films, I know you're Greg, but GB Wedding Films, it's not just you as well. There's someone...
I was going to say this as well.
Yeah, so I kind of don't... So basically, my second shooter, or, assistant, if you want to call her that, is my mother-in-law.
Okay.
Which on paper shouldn't work. But she's boss. Like, have you met Paula?
I've never met her.
No, you've never met Paula. But yeah, she's dead cool.
She's
actually.
boss.
Yeah. But
That's
again, I don't really sell her as part of the package, because she's more like my assistant. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, she can operate a camera and stuff. But
does she, Paula?
Yeah.
Say she. Does Paula? So when you, I'm dead confused now, because I know when we sell packages now to couples, we give them the chance if they want the choice if they need two of us or one of us.
Yeah.
Do you do that now, or is it like always always two of you?
Because it got to the point where, like with Paula in particular, because she still got work commitments herself,
right?
She
couldn't
actually do every single wedding anyway.
Right.
So there was a stage early on where people were like, "But I thought there was 2 years."
Where's Paula?
Where's Paula? And I was like, "Well, actually, no. Paula's not. I wouldn't say not necessary on the day of the wedding.
No, get it.
But like
sometimes it's not. Sometimes some weddings don't need two of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Obviously, if she can be there, she will.
Yeah.
Great. But again, it raised some questions in the early stages where, like, where is she? And I was like, well, she's not actually included.
That's happening at the moment for me and Beth.
Yeah.
I think this year in particular, there's a lot of weddings that are coming through. It's just me on my own, and I think because we see other suppliers that we know. So when I turn up in the morning, you've got like the venue staff saying, "Where's Beth?" And then you've got the hair and makeup girls going, "Oh, where's Beth?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, like, fucking shut up."
I mean,
I am here because in my head I'm thinking the bride only booked me. Or booked one of us.
Yeah.
So it's just who turns up on the day. And I always feel, not bad, but it always makes me question, like, do people think that I've just, like, knocked Beth off and, like, she's not coming today now because, it is what it is. But if the couple know well in advance that there's only going to be one of us on the day.
Yeah.
But do you ever shoot weddings on your own?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you prefer with two of you or one?
Yeah, I prefer two of us.
Two of us, yeah.
So at the minute now, it's getting to the point where, like, Paul has actually become my BTS shooter. To be honest.
Okay. So this is what people are finding out, like when they're going, who's filming the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's Paula.
So again, it depends on the multitude of the wedding, to be honest. So some of the smaller weddings where, like, I like to say the word self-contained. So if like say in a West Tower,
and you know
that they get ready in there, the groom's getting ready in there, then they get moved over to the bridal suite, then they go down, and then the drinks reception's there. So it's all self-contained, right? But then some of like the bigger weddings, let's say, where like I mean, I worked in one 2 weeks ago now in a venue called Wilderness Reserve down in Suffolk. And they said, yeah, it's all self-contained, it's all on site. But what they didn't tell me was actually bridal prep had its own postcode. Groom prep, it was massive, it was huge. So like I'm thinking, I've got loads of time to get round. It was like, 3 hours before ceremony, give myself an extra hour type of thing. And it was just massive. It was just ridiculous. So I was like, that I could have done with another pair of hands on that one. Do you know what
And was you on your own that day?
Well, I had a BTS shooter with me, but he wasn't my second shooter. He was literally just brought in to shoot me.
Can you not?
So
how does that work then? So when you get like a BTS shooter in, do they not like film any of the wedding?
Well, it depends again. So, like with that one in particular, I did say to him, basically, I want you to operate the camera for like the ceremony and the speeches type of thing.
On this side, you're that side.
Yeah, that type of thing. But
me.
kind of just try and keep it simple and say, well, actually, you've been brought in to shoot me, you know, that type of thing. So, yeah.
Do couples ever go, oh, I don't want that? Or
I don't tell them.
Don't you?
No. I've seen a lot of people say, like, there might be pushback and say...
I love that.
They say, well, you know, at the end of the day, it's extra content for them as well, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah, it is really, yeah.
And obviously, there's things that, like, get spoke about on the day of the wedding that I wouldn't share because it might be, like, some personal information in there. So I'd like to think that they know that as well, but, you know...
Do these photographers ever get on your case when you have a behind-the-scenes shooter?
No. They're all that sound.
Content creators, they're called.
How do you feel about that?
All right.
Yeah?
Yeah. I haven't had a bad experience with them.
Have you worked with some of them before?
Yeah, I've done a couple, yeah. I think, because I've seen a lot of them who actually turn up with proper cameras now. Because initially it was just a phone.
iPhone.
Yeah. But I've seen a lot of them now where, like, I think...
Are they just becoming wedding videographers then, or wedding filming?
Well, this is the thing. So there is an element of that where, like, you know, they are just basically just filming with one of our cameras, if you like, do you want to call it that? But I think the beauty of it, content creator, is they just deliver all the footage. They don't do any editing. I mean, they will put like reels together and that type of thing, but they just send everything the day after.
So did they not edit or?
So I think a lot of them, what they do is they'll say, like, I mean, I don't know what they charge, but let's say they charge 500 quid or whatever. For 500 quid, they'll send you all the raw footage and you can just put it together yourself or whatever. If you pay them extra, another 500 quid, they'll do like a load of reels for you. But then a lot of them follow trends as well. Yeah. So they'll say, like, you know, follow the TikTok trends and, you know, like, or like they snap the fingers and all the brides just jump out of the, like, whatever, and all that shit.
It's all that, isn't it? Yeah, I keep seeing this at the moment. Just hold on a sec for any audio listeners where the hand goes over the and you pull it away and they're all like dressed. Yeah. But I was going to say to you, I feel like we are taking loads of time and we'll have a little break in a sec.
I've got all day, by the way. Cool.
I've got this one thing for you because it's keep happening to us, and you might not relate to this, right? Because of you do photo, and I'm just geeking out here now at the moment.
Sometimes you film.
I know, but
it's filming for you at the weekend.
You was, but second shooting. But when you're doing your reels and socials, and obviously, are they reels for the couples, or are they to promote you?
Just for me.
So we do the same. Do you ever find your couples messaging you who you haven't created a reel for, let's say, basically saying, oh, we want one of these? Do you ever get that?
Once.
Okay. It's starting. I had a phone call the other day off a couple who've just booked us, who basically said, oh my God, love the reels, but I can't see them a part of your package. Can you, like, could we get them like type of videos after the wedding? I'm like, yeah, but you know, we don't. It's not part of the package because I think that's more of a content creator. Would you say? Or obviously, I love creating reels because it promotes the business as well as obviously the couple love them as well. But I just wanted to get your take on it. How, like, you know.
Yeah, it's couples have never brought it up to me except once. Yeah. But one thing that I do or I talk about is actually that, like, I've seen videographers who do sell reels, by the way, as like an extra.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'd never do that because, again, like, if you've got no content to put on your own page, how are you going to actually promote yourself at the end of the day?
Yeah.
But yeah, I always kind of promote it as like a surprise for the couple.
It is, isn't it? It's like a little perk for them. They get a little buzz.
If there's anything that I can share from the day. But one thing that I'll kind of talk about to the couples is actually that, like, let's be honest, like, you probably do, and I follow a lot of filmmakers and photographers and stuff, and for the fear of looking exactly the same as everyone else, like, we all post confetti shots, we all post first looks, we all post all the obvious stuff.
Yeah, the big part of the day that you know is going to touch to the people who watch it. Yeah.
So, like, I no one's ever asked for it, by the way, but I will say to them, listen, you know, if I do post, it's not because of, like, I'm not posting it because of
like favoritism.
Yeah, that type of thing. So it's just like, literally, I'll be editing like a feature film, and I'll see like a little clip from it, and I'll go, oh shit, that'd be so good as a reel.
Same for us. Yeah.
So it's sometimes, like, as much as, I mean, I do plan my socials to a degree.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not too regimented where I'm like, I've got to post 5 reels this week because I've got to hit the algorithm and all that.
That's a business in itself, though. It's like another job. It's like another job title to, like, running a business, isn't it? Being like a social media manager. And I've noticed that myself when we come to like do trailer films or whatever, and we see a moment, you go, we know that I'd like work with that song, or, you know, You hear a song on like the radio. What?
Buzzing off me.
Why?
I'm buzzing off him because obviously I can see everyone's angles, and I'm got the angle on you, and then I'm watching Ryan checking out his sweat patches.
Sweat.
Ah, yeah. I was thinking, I feel like with a radiator on me back.
That's why I'm wearing black.
Yeah, hard it.
Yeah.
But you have a little break?
If you want.
Yeah, have a little break. 2-minute break. Peace.
Waters, anyone?
No, we're making you a coffee now, fellas.
Oh, yeah, the cup.
We have got the coffee man in himself, Greg. Greg doesn't approve of this coffee. I'm joking. But we know if we were in Greg's house, we'd get a proper coffee. But this is just an espresso coffee from the machine. It's an espresso with obviously heated milk.
Just to give it a bit of a backstory, this is, if you've watched the recent episodes, Lucy's specifically.
That ain't recent, that.
No, it's
It's all 2
recent.
months ago.
No, I know, but it feels recent to me. I live them every day, Josh. But Lucy said, didn't she? She was talking about coffee and how, like, as creators, we always have our coffees and stuff like that, which I mentioned. I don't like it. And it was like a big thing.
It's not that you don't like it.
No, I have tasted it in the past, but I don't think I've ever tasted it in, like, modern day coffees because they've changed. But we said that one day in the future, on a pod, I'd taste it, like, live, if you want to call it live. And it's set up so nicely that Greg, being the coffee connoisseur as he is, this seemed to be the best one to do it, I think.
And we're in a nice cup as well. We've got the Salt Bay.
The Salt Bay cup provided by
Bridal Sky.
Bridal Sky, yeah.
It smells good.
Can you smell it?
Yeah.
There you go. Right.
So giz it then.
It's going to be hot, you know. Do you want to let it cool down for a minute?
What coffee is this that I've got? I don't just say Nespresso. I mean, like, is it a Frappuccino? Is it an Ice White? Is it a Mocha? I haven't got a clue. What is it?
Basically, there's a bit of froth on the top.
Okay.
So that's, you know, class
Where's
it
me,
as
like, little...
Your heart.
You, like, put little things on it, don't you? I've seen your
me latte
stories,
art.
lads.
Yeah, but he's got the proper, like, where he...
It's a steam one.
Yeah. But that creates a certain level of froth. And the pour that I pour it into...
It's got milk in.
It's just a circle end. Where yours has probably got, like, a bit of a lip on it where you can create the little... You know what I meant.
Yeah.
The audio listeners are probably thinking,
I'm
what are
tasting
they
it.
even going on about? Have a try.
Is it going to be roasted or not?
Well, I've just said to you, it's
Or
boiling.
it's not boiling.
Not boiling.
Here's a question for you, because I know coffee
You're not meant
comes...
to boil milk,
no,
are
but
you?
coffee comes hot and cold, doesn't it? Like, you get the ice ones, like you said, and you get them hot as well. What's the best way to drink coffee? Hot or cold?
Through your mouth is a good start.
mouth, yeah.
It'll be a tit. Hot or cold?
That's personal preference.
And there's a preference, lads.
Is it?
Personal preference, yeah. I don't think there's a right or wrong.
You know the way there's like...
Summer thing for me, though, ice one.
I went through a bit of a thing, like years ago now, really, but I always loved to drink German beers. And every time we went to Germany, which we did as like trips with my mates and with Becky and whatever, and they'd like told you that they had to be drank in a certain way from a certain glass to get like the full potential of the flavour and whatever like that. So I know that goes into coffee as well, so that's why I was asking that question.
Just drink it.
Just drink it. All right.
Yeah. We're probably going round the hours here to try
I know,
coffee.
but it's a big deal.
I think you should
This is
drink it all
momentous.
as well, you know.
Yeah.
I think you should have to drink it all. Not like now.
Just tastes like floor.
It tastes like floor.
Let me try. Because I hope it could taste like
Actually,
floor.
that's it, I want to try.
Yeah. He's the coffee connoisseur.
So I've drank, in case you're worried about cuties, I've drunk out of
James
above
and
my
James, mate,
head.
I'm sweet.
I've put my head in my mouth.
I'll put my head in my mouth. It looks and smells alright.
The milk's and taste. I hope.
That's good. Have you put any sugar in that?
No.
No? That's nice.
It's a blonde Starbucks
Oh, that's
pod.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
So I like it.
Is that a good coffee?
That's a decent coffee, yeah.
Yeah, Josh's turn.
So a blonde roast is less harsh.
Yeah, that's why I did it.
Less bitter. So like
Right.
obviously if you were getting a darker roast, it tastes more like floor.
Right.
Oh, mate, that's fit, that. I think it's the milk as well, you know.
Do you drink coffees, Beth?
Plain milk. I have oat milk.
Yeah.
Are you having some? I feel like we can't not pass it round to everyone.
Sorry, I've got no James either, by the way.
It's alright, isn't it?
Hey? Oat milk, that's semi-skim milk.
Oh, we are just going back for more.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you
Get your hands on
order
the coffee, will you?
if you order a Starbucks or if you go to like a mainstream coffee shop, they use full fat. They use whole milk.
Yeah.
So if you ask for like a skinny, it's usually semi.
So
No one really has that milk.
Hannah in
What?
the gym
I
always
never knew
gets skinny lattes.
Yeah.
Is that like...
What's your order then? Your Starbucks order?
Flat white with vanilla.
Sugar-free vanilla or?
No.
Yeah. That's me. I'd get rid of that. I'd get a latte, vanilla latte.
You can tell sugar-free.
I couldn't get
like
in- I
a
couldn't
Diet
get into
Coke
these,
versus a
by the way.
Coke or a
Well, I
Coke
was-
Zero is
yeah.
actually like, it's bearable, isn't
Yeah.
it? But sugar-free, it tastes artificially sweet and it's shit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you
stay
have
away
how many
from
coffees do you have a day?
it. Oh, fucking
It's like a doctor here, don't I? How many coffees do you have a day?
This is the,
what's
the
the-
coffee segment.
Yeah.
When
The
YouTube,
alcohol intake.
because
I
YouTube
know.
splits it all up. I don't know if you've seen this, but when you
Yeah.
go back on our previous YouTube, and they split it into chapters automatically
The
for us,
Starbucks
which is
coffee.
nice for
yeah,
us.
that's good.
But this will be the coffee segment.
Coffee segment.
Are you getting on with it? What do you think? I know you said floor before,
I
but
just don't.
do you know
I
what
just don't
it
get
is?
an
Correct?
enjoyment from it.
Yeah.
And do you know what it is about the coffees as well as not
God, here we
wanting
go.
to get into them? Because of like the fact that I'll probably get addicted to them, because it is like an addiction, isn't it, to be addicted to caffeine? I would never know what to ask for.
Yeah.
Do you know if I walked in there and they go, "What coffee do you want?" I'd be like, "Coffee." For a long time I didn't even know coffee was like either black or with milk.
Yeah.
And then there's obviously the little ones, they're espressos, aren't they?
Yeah.
You're buzzing off me, but I've just never involved myself in this world.
Yeah,
It's like
fair,
if I
yeah.
went into a shop and asked for a pack of ciggies, which I have no idea of how they work, I wouldn't know what one was what. I
Yeah,
don't know what
yeah,
one was
yeah.
which. So, you know, this is all alien to me.
all
Leave me
new.
alone.
But we can
I feel
hold
like
your
I'm
hands.
bouncing already, though.
That's
Why they want you to finish
That's
it.
why I want you to. That's why I want you to finish
Does it
it.
hit you that quick?
I want you to finish it.
Yeah, here's a question for you. Are the calories on the side of that?
Beth actually said this before we bought it. She was like, "Bet you Ryan starts on, but how many calories in it?"
Well, I've got a holiday on the weekends. I'm trying to like stay limber.
Look after me, so yeah.
So how many coffees do you have a day?
Probably about 3.
3.
Yeah.
One first thing, middle of the day.
So I listened to this.
Daddy, the CEO one.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've listened to this, but
About not wanting. In fact, it wasn't. Are you thinking about the actual coffee guy that I had on?
and it talks about the addiction to it. That one.
Where he said, like, don't have one first thing in
Yeah.
the morning. Like, when you wake up, do you reckon, like, you've got to let your mind and your brain wake up? Well, your brain and your body wake up first.
Yeah.
Because if you do it, you're artificially waking yourself up with the caffeine. So
That makes so much sense to me.
Yeah.
So basically, I'll wake up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock most days. I won't have a coffee till about 8:30.
So you said you had 2 kids. That's a sleep in, that.
Shut up.
But at 6:30,
It is a sleep in.
What time are you up?
5:30.
Because you want to go to the gym, you sado.
Shout
just-
out next level.
He just wants me to say that as well.
gonna
No,
say, yeah.
wait. No, honestly,
You
God.
get up and the kids are still asleep.
No, 6 o'clock is the average time. 6
Oh,
to half
nice.
6.
So,
His kids
yeah.
are older.
I know I'm only messing.
Yeah, no, they come in the bedroom, let us know they're awake, and then they go back to bed with their iPads or whatever. So
Nice of them.
That's nice of them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Letting you know
Um,
we're up.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty
sad,
much. Yeah. And then I usually have one about dinner time. To be honest,
With your dinner.
usually after me dinner.
Is it like a dessert?
Do you know what? I've never thought of it that way, but yeah, it could be, I suppose. And then if I have one of a night, I try and have a decaf, but sometimes I just have like a smaller one if I have one of a night, if we haven't got decaf, by the way.
You don't have decaf in the house.
Not all the time, no.
Do you live
In fact,
near?
not-
Do you
no,
live
not
near a
really.
Starbucks?
Helen drink
Yeah,
coffees?
Yeah, she does. She loves our coffee at home now. And yeah, there's a drive-through by ours as well.
You must be on first name basis with them all. Like, I like
To
it.
be-
Yeah,
to
you're
be
right.
fair-
Same as usual, Big.
To be fair, there was a couple of the staff members, like I haven't seen them for a couple of weeks, because obviously, a couple of months, because we've obviously got a machine at home now. And went in with the kids a couple of weeks ago, and one of them went, I haven't seen you for ages. I was like, oh, fucking hell.
When he
Like,
turns up with the drive-through thing, it's speaking to the voice, they're like, I know that voice anywhere.
Yeah. Is that you, Greg?
That you, Greg? Yeah, I know.
But
But,
listen,
yeah.
to not get bogged down too much in coffee, because there's loads
drank
we
it
want to. No, there's loads we want to talk about. I don't think we could get you on here without talking about Avanza
Okay.
and the birth of Avanza, and from what I see, the growth of Avanza.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, what is Avanza?
Avanza is destination wedding workshops. In a
Created
nutshell.
by yourself?
Yeah.
Is no one
Totally your
else?
brainchild, or
Yeah.
you just thought?
Avanza is Italian for advance.
Okay.
As in, like, basically push yourself, advance in your career type of thing.
Can I just, not to go too off topic, but we're getting very continental here last week, because the Acre lads were talking about all of their proverbs that they use are all like French infused.
Right, okay.
And we're going Italian this week, so continue. Go on.
Yeah. So again, a lot of people who I speak to, again, who are kind of like... It's kicked in,
Rattle
yeah.
Come on. Rattle in the cage, man.
So a lot of the people I speak to are like getting into weddings and stuff. It's a question, like I said earlier, it's a question that comes up frequently, is like, how do you get into destinations? luckily for me, like I said, what my second ever
Yeah.
inquiry was for Spain.
So you do it.
It was one of those things. But again, that's one of the things I'll talk about and say, well, actually, if you've got no portfolio to back it up, to show people that you can travel abroad, and let's be honest, traveling abroad to shoot a wedding isn't really any different to shooting a wedding here. It's just, you just have to go through passport control and
With your gear.
With your gear, yeah. So it's not a great deal of difference. But I think in the mindset of the clients, they think, well, they've shot in Ibiza, they've shot in wherever, so it's like I trust them more because they've done it.
Yeah.
Which is complete nonsense, but that's just the mindset
It
of
is,
the client,
isn't it? Yeah.
and that's what it is. So it all started from actually my love of Paris. To be honest with you, me and Helen go to Paris probably a bit more than we should, to be honest with you. Like,
Where does the love stem from?
I don't know, to be honest.
Was it like
have you
first-
been to Paris?
Yeah, we went.
Been to Disney.
It sounds awful, but we went to Paris, we went to Disneyland, and we did not leave the whole time.
Yeah.
We didn't venture out, but we did go with the little man.
Is
so.
this like one of them situations where you just you hit the ground at somewhere and you just feel like an affinity for it? Like I like feel very strongly towards Ibiza. For no other reason other than the fact that the first time I ever went there...
I thought you were going to say Formby then.
Formby, yeah. Shut up about Formby, I lived there one day. But when I landed on the shores of Ibiza, I was just like, I felt something. And then I couldn't not go back. And like, you just kind of get like a feeling when you're there. Is that just the same for you?
Yeah, do you know what? I do feel like with Paris, it's weird because I think Paris is kind of, and I almost got a bit defensive about Paris, to be honest, because one of my mates was like, it's a shithole. You don't want to, why would you ever go to Paris? And I was like, I mean, if you go to like some areas of our hometown, there's shitholes. So like, you know, and I'm not naming names, obviously, in areas and all that, but
definitely not by ours.
Ryan, is that for you?
Yeah, but but yeah, no, so I don't know what it was with Paris really, but yeah, me and Helen love to go. And actually, there was, when we were there once, I think it was about maybe 18 months ago, I actually seen like a wedding taking place. And it was obviously like, you know, obviously like the cliche shots like by the Eiffel Tower and all that. And I was like, this would be so sick to shoot a wedding. And then I got an inquiry for Paris, and I couldn't do it. So I was absolutely devastated, and I was like, I need to shoot in Paris. And then I always kind of, I've been doing like mentoring and like, you know, teaching a bit of like, say, social media and wedding filmmaking, if you want to call it that. And then Avanza just kind of come organically, really. And I was like, where can I shoot? Because where can I shoot a workshop, or where can I do a workshop that's quite easy to get to?
Yeah, it's an hour away, an hour and a half.
Yeah, so a lot of the people who actually come to Avanza in Paris, it was about 45, 50 minutes on a flight or whatever.
It's so convenient, isn't it?
But the idea originally was that we were going to launch Avanza in somewhere like the Lake District.
Okay.
As just like, I was going to do like a pre-launch, get people to come up.
Get a feel of how it works and stuff.
But a lot of the people who wanted to come were from down south. And I was like, it's going to be easier for them to get to Paris than it is to get to fucking Kendal.
It's mad,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So
it's just the modern world for you, isn't it?
Literally, so I was like, right, okay, so I just put it on and I just thought, I'm never going to sell this. I'll just see what happens. And we sold out in a couple of weeks and I was just like, right, we might have something here, do you know what I mean? And then, it's just kind of grew from there, really, yeah. I probably need someone to run the socials for us, to be honest with you, because I can't do both at the same time.
It's funny because I think when you were in Paris, or just before it was coming up to go into Paris, me and Ryan actually spoke about it, and we were like, we would love to get on something like that. I think we had a wedding on that. Was it a weekend it fell on?
So I always try and do the workshops midweek. Or like try and do them between a Monday and a Thursday. So like obviously not everyone can come for work purposes, but I always try and make it accessible. So
I feel like we did have a wedding around that time though.
We did. Otherwise I would have been on it.
We were talking about it and we were saying like we would have loved to come on it. And the minute Ibiza got announced, you said you were doing Ibiza. I think Ryan was...
Oh, I'm hot.
I think he's booked on it.
I'm ready. I'm not booked. You can't book it yet, can you?
No, I haven't released the info yet.
See? Otherwise I would have been first name on the list.
And then the October one as well. I think
like
we've got a wedding. It's the 12th.
It's the so I think the workshop's the 15th of October in Lake Como.
Yeah. So I think we've got a wedding around that time.
Yeah.
So that was another one we were like, oh, it's just...
No. Yeah.
As I say, we'll come to the Ibiza one.
I love the idea. Like, people don't know this, but I've been willing to try and... I've been trying my hardest to shoot an Ibiza for ages, but it's one of them, isn't it? Like...
So yeah, I don't want to interrupt you, but how does it work then when you turn up? Because obviously we've just like talked about you know, Avanza as a whole, but like what is the purpose from like a videographer point of view and a photographer point of view turning up? What do they get from it?
It's basically I'm just putting a fake wedding on.
Oh,
To be
so what it
honest,
is?
in simple terms, yeah. It's basically a styled shoot.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, if you
Style
want to call
shoot.
it that, yeah.
But is
There's
it
not-
like... Go on, sorry.
So there's a little bit of direction, but and you know that's more to do with the models and how the day runs and stuff like that. There's obviously going to be an itinerary of where we'll be going and stuff like that. But actually, there's not a kind of classroom element. There's no kind of set education that falls along with it, because I'm not marketing it to newcomers in the industry. Because that's one of the things that
I think a lot of style shoots are for that reason, aren't
yeah,
they?
yeah. But I'll put that in the brochure. I'll say, like, you know, I think...
If you've already shoot weddings loads, you should
Well,
come.
yeah, but, you know, I think generally, I want you to turn up knowing how to use your camera. I don't want you to turn around to me and go, what aperture should I be shooting this at? Do you know, it's like, no, it's none of that. It's like, literally, I'm putting a shoot on, and I'm providing this, and I'm going to do this, and then you can just be left alone to do it.
So are they just getting their, like, portfolio then from it?
More or less, yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean, obviously, there's a couple of case studies in particular, but one, a Welsh videographer who come to Paris, and he was like, he's basically got North Wales on lockdown.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally...
Let me guess. Matthew?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's so sound, Matthew. Yeah, he's brilliant. But he was like, I want to try and get out of Wales, do you know what I mean? Because obviously, you know, he's obviously... he's very good at his area.
There's only
do you
so
know
many
what I mean?
times you can go in a sun centre, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sorry, Matthew.
Nice one, right. So anyway, yeah, he was like, yeah, I want to try and get into destinations a bit more. So he's come back, he's put his videos out from Paris, and he started getting like inquiries for Italy and Spain and stuff like that. And I was like, it's worked, do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's good in that respect, yeah.
Very interesting. Are we gonna go as a joint thing, or are you gonna snide off and leave me?
So it depends if you can make it, otherwise I'm definitely starting.
We'll make it to Ibiza. Well, I will.
So we've got two ideas for Ibiza. One of them's going to be like a mini shoot. So I'm literally just going to like try and make like, say like a long weekend out. So I'm trying to find a weekend or like a midweek one where we haven't got a wedding basically. Do you know what I mean? And then potentially there's going to be a retreat in May 25.
Sign me up.
We can bleep the location. Can you tell us the location?
Do you know
No,
it yet?
we haven't got one.
Okay. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
You know,
I've got a couple of places lined up, but not set in stone. We're trying to find something that's not basically a wedding venue, because the wedding venue kind of thing in Ibiza is everything's it's on lockdown. They've got their suppliers who they only use, and like one of my friends is the preferred videographer for Elixir, for example, and he literally gets every single wedding at Elixir.
So you haven't even got to try basically for work?
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
there.
it's obviously, you know, it's very. I think Ibiza is quite luxurious as well, to be honest with you. So like, it's quite expensive to get out there and be married or get married out there.
Funny enough, we're actually going there in a few days for the wedding.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, not filming, just
going.
Yeah,
Oh, amazing.
We got asked to film it, but it was one of them, man. It was like,
Wait until your head falls off. That's
do you know what, I think
that's
for
where
us-
my love of Ibiza grew from, going to Becky's cousin's wedding.
Yeah.
Over, because I hadn't been to Ibiza up until that point, and when we went for that, and she had her wedding set on like, she literally, I don't know, was it you I was spoken to the other day? I was talking to someone about it the other day, that she got married on the cliff overlooking Esvedra.
Yeah.
Like, she set it up totally personal. Like, she didn't go to one of the venues, if you like, what you're talking about there. She did her own thing because she lived on the island. She knew that's what it was like.
Yeah.
So she just basically rented chairs and tables and whatever and took it up to the cliff, done that. And then they rented a villa up the side of the hills, looking over the whole of like San Antonio and all that. And I was just like, yeah, this is a bit of me, this.
Yeah.
So if you've got something like that, you'll be wanting to move there with me.
Beth knows the location. Do you know the venue?
I couldn't even say it.
Great, I can't wait to go.
Yeah, I know, yeah. She's looking forward to it.
It'll be a surprise for you.
I know.
I know, yeah.
But yeah, no, I think, where have I just gone in my mind? What was you talking about then? Avanza, yeah. But about Ibiza. You said about Ibiza, your friend had it on lockdown and stuff like that, very luxurious. Yeah. So with yourself, when you go to destination weddings, do you ever, I know we're going around this back again, talking about destinations and yourself doing them, but you know,
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm interested, and I think a lot of people who are listening will want to know this. Do you, especially from a bride and groom's point of view, would they have to pay the venue to like swerve their in-house videographer and photographer to have the likes of yourself come?
Not that I'm aware of.
I've had this before, you see.
Yeah.
When I've had inquiries come through from Mexico. I think Mexico seems the place, you know, where
I was
they do
literally
it.
just about to say, someone inquired with me once from Mexico, and it was that.
They have to like,
They have to pay
pay
that.
off
Yeah.
them to have us come in.
Yeah. I have heard that with somewhere in Greece actually. But yeah, no, I've never had it personally. Like,
Because I think for the couples who are, you know, people who are listening, who may be a couple getting married abroad, how did you get on?
Finished it.
Did you finish it?
Yeah.
Let's put your hand out like that. Oh yeah, you sound. The shakes haven't kicked in, yeah.
Kick in a
So when they start wearing off.
I don't think I can get used to drinking them. No, it's not enjoyable.
Do you know why he doesn't drink it? I know, like jumping in and out. Why he doesn't drink it is because everyone drinks it. He's that guy. He is that guy. You have to be.
That's not just
what
the only
phone
case.
Have you got?
That's not the case
Definitely
in this.
on Android.
I just don't like the taste. There's no enjoyment that comes from that. It's like drinking. It's like going into a bar and getting the beer that you don't like the taste of.
But I think when we first started drinking beer, you don't like it.
There was once upon a time where I didn't like beer, to be honest.
You start off on like Smirnoff or Blue WKD and you work your way up, mate. And then you end up on Guinness in the end. That's where you end up. Are you a Guinness drinker?
I drink Golden.
What the hell is that?
Half bitter, half lager.
Oh my God.
You know, you're getting to a certain age when you
Ted
drink
there.
that.
Ted
I don't want to ask how old you are. But how old are you?
37.
37.
I think. It's funny once you got past like 32, you're like, I'm not asking.
Doesn't matter. No.
Let me just double check.
So you're an 80s kid?
Yeah.
Nice.
37.
yeah.
I'm 36, 37 in July.
So, this is like the secret question
Okay.
that I thought was good, and I actually brought a prop for this.
Well, there we go.
Right?
I'm scared.
Because
What is this?
it's not scary,
Okay.
and it's not even probably that like big of a deal. But I just thought about it because I thought I remember he used to do that and talk about that quite a bit. Now I don't see him talking about it anymore, but I want to bring it back in case you do.
Oh.
So,
I am worried.
Be worried,
Because it's
Greg.
probably
Be
the reason why I
worried.
don't talk about it anymore.
there's a certain
Brand.
yeah, that I used to see you connected to quite a bit,
Okay.
and then I don't see you talk about it that
This
much
bit's
no
getting
more.
cut out.
I know.
But that brand is that brand
Oh, yeah.
Lego,
Yeah.
right? And everyone's heads just fell off. But I
Bars,
remember
I'm glad it's Lego.
yeah, no, yeah. The rampant rabbit stays in the bag, Greg.
That's getting bleeped out. It's a family show.
I know. But no, I used to see you making little model things all the time, and I was dead intrigued because I thought, are you
It's a full-time wedding
No, yeah, but are you like one of
filmmaker,
these
is it?
fellas that like have a secret love and passion for Lego, specifically Lego Technic and all of that, and you've got like a man cave in yours that's got all like Lego-y stuff in.
That's it.
So I bought some Lego
Nice.
Happy birthday for July.
for Bertie.
Nice one.
I was wondering if you'd put that together for me at some point.
Yeah.
He's not David Blaine.
I'm
It's done.
obviously now going to film this, aren't I? And put it all over and tag the shit out of the podcast.
Yeah.
obviously.
So I got you
But
some
yeah,
Lego
nice one,
anyway.
Thank you. That's a lovely little gift.
Tesco, nice one.
Made up. Do you know what? I do love Lego. I still love Lego. But I think naturally, as my son's got a little bit older, he's gradually, like, you know, phased. I wouldn't say he's phased it out. He still likes Lego and stuff, but he spends a bit more time on his PlayStation and stuff like that. So that's where that kind of came along with, where it was kind of, how can I explain it? It was acceptable for me to just sit there and build Lego because he wanted to do it.
Yeah.
If I just come home with a Lego set one day, in fact, actually tell a lie, I did buy a Lego set a couple of months ago, to be honest.
See.
You walk past the Lego shop like that, come. Don't do
It's
it.
in the Trafford Centre. They've
Hello,
got like,
darkness, my old friend.
yeah, well, they've got a Trafford in the Trafford Centre. They've got a Lego shop, as they've got one in town actually as well. And my son goes, "Can we go into Lego?" And I'm like, "Go on then." Like that. So we walk in, and he said, "Oh, I really want this." And I was like, "All right then, I'll buy it. I'll buy it."
For us,
You can build
you can buy
it,
them
but
by
I want
bricks,
it.
can't you?
What's that?
You can buy Lego by the brick,
Individual
can't you?
bricks now. Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
So yeah, no, I've still got a love for Lego. Like,
where did that come from?
Josh is sitting here like, why have you even brought that? Why have you even asked
I think
that?
it's nice.
And the
I think it's
reason
nice.
why is because I was trying to tie it up to being a parent. That's what I was putting it back to, because obviously we've spoken
This
about
podcast
this.
has literally went like this.
No, but we've spoken about this, and I was speaking to other people about it the other day. Is like when you're trying to be out there doing your best and being like the creator that you want to be and stuff like that. How does that impact on your like family life? Is basically what I was going to say. And I know we've touched on like how supportive Hell is and stuff like that. Do you want your kids? Because I bought Thea a camera for their birthday, which was a couple of weeks ago now. Do you want them to go, Dad, can I be like a filmmaker like you, or do you just?
yeah, it's funny, you know, because I think
That's why I bought the Lego.
yeah.
Lego.
Like, you know, I think it's
Loose
just,
connection.
Let it go. Let it go.
now, so there's been, it's happened once or twice in the last couple of months where like my lads basically said like, "Oh, I'd love to come to a wedding with you." I was like, "Would you?" But he loves tech, so when he sees me open my camera bag and it's all cameras and like batteries everywhere, he's dead intrigued. So yeah, I mean, I'd love that. But I think there's another element to the actual Lego side of it as well, is because I think it's going to sound really deep, this, but I think a lot of the creative jobs, like including ours,
Yeah.
it all stems from hobby. And it's just like, you know, we enjoy the filmmaking side of it and we love taking photos and whatever. But then when it comes down to actually, now this is my full-time business, job, whatever, I'm not saying there's not any time for enjoyment, because I still love going out and shooting like little family moments and stuff like that. So that Lego's like it is a bit of a kind of, I'll say release as such, but something that I can just kind of get away from, and it's like mine and my little boy's thing, do you know what I mean, where we'll sit there and build it together. So it's just it's a moment to switch away. Okay. So yeah,
that's what I was getting to. That's what I hoped that would be.
Happy. Yeah.
And I think
when I was doing jigsaws, I was getting slagged off.
No, but I understand jigsaws. I understand. This is what I was trying to dig out in here, because I like that says creator on it as well, by the way, because that's what we are. But this is what I mean. This is what I was trying to pull it back to, is that we all need to find
the
like
deeper
a pleasure.
meaning.
The deeper meaning around, like, it's great. It's the best thing in the world that we're all living our dreams, because we all are. Every single one of us here. Yeah. We're all living it. We've set out to do it, and we've accomplished it, and we've still got loads of room to go and to grow and whatever. But we also need to remember that, like, the reason why we started, so the hobby thing and the time for yourself is something that I'm like actively trying to promote in my own head all the time, because you just get too one-dimensional on like the goal, and you forget about the journey.
Well, I think when you love what you do, there's no such thing as work-life balance.
There's no balance.
Exactly.
No balance. No.
Exactly. So I think sometimes to have that,
I'm still trying to find it. I'm never going to find it.
I don't think it exists.
Yeah.
I honestly don't, because I think, like, you know, even when, you know yourself, you'll be in Ibiza having a lovely time at this wedding, and you'll get an email, oh, we just had an inquiry for Merrydale or whatever, you know, and you don't want to be that person who's like, out of office, see you later. It's like, so you automatically go into work mode, because you just want to speak to the couples and you want to be involved. Do you know what I mean?
So have you been looking at my phone? I said no.
Well, you know what I mean? I think ultimately
it's good, like,
we don't really switch off.
Definitely.
But I feel blessed to say that now, because actually I do love what I do, and I'd like, you know, and genuinely, like, it happens like a lot of the time actually, where, like I say, walking around Trafford Centre or doing whatever, and I go, oh my God, I've just been asked to film such a place, and she'd be like, well, are you busy? And you're like, no. You're like, well, fucking tell them you can do it then. Do you know what I mean? That type of thing. So yeah.
I think it's the only job probably where, like, when you do get them emails and you see them, the endorphin release that you must get.
The thrill.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know the more you do it, the more it doesn't wear off, but you're not as like I can remember me and you used to like celebrate. Like proper, make a big takeaway tonight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, yeah, love it.
But now it's more, you still get that little kick, but it's just like, obviously Destination Ones as well must give you a massive kick as well.
Well, yeah, I think with the destinations is that, I mean, it's very often that, I mean, obviously, like I just mentioned Merrydale there, for example, but there's very, you know, let's say in this area, like, you know, the northwest of England, let's say for us, because that's where we're based. But a lot of the Cheshire wedding venues, like your Coleshaws, your Merrydales and stuff, when they come in, beautiful venues, by the way, but when they come in, it's like, oh yeah, it's sound, and they're still excited and all the rest of it. But with the destinations, it's usually places that you'd never even considered going to. Yeah. Like, I mean,
it takes you places you've never been.
Yeah. I mean, there's one that I'm doing next year, and when it come through, I was like, this has got to be a wind up. And then, like, within about, I think, 48 hours, they paid the deposit, and I was like, oh my God, this is happening. Do you know what I mean? I was like,
stay calm, Helen.
Yeah.
It's happening.
But yeah, so it's like, you know, I mean, for context, it's Bali.
Wow. Where about in Bali?
Ubud, yeah.
We've been.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I've never been.
Travelling days, like, you know, not for weddings.
But yeah, so like I say, somewhere like that, I'd never consider going to Bali. I mean, I'd like the idea of going to Bali and stuff, but again, with kids and family life and stuff, that's not really on the agenda, is it? You know.
No. I think I'm looking forward to seeing this wedding already, because when we went there, it's just, again, it's like the Ibiza thing for you when you said, like, when you get there and it's just like there's an essence to it. I think Bali and even like Thailand, part of Thailand, I think Thailand's become very more westernized now, but part of Bali is very much like what you see on like the brochure, you know what I mean?
Really?
Like, yeah. Just what's the film called, The Beach?
Oh yeah.
You know, like with Leonardo DiCaprio, it's just that.
Yeah.
And you just think, wow, this is happening.
Yeah.
But before we go on to question time, we are speaking of like out there things and like pinch me moments. And since we knew you get on the pod, I must admit I've been stalking you more than I should. But it's all for research you know, what's the word? Purposes, yeah. And the one thing I wanted to ask, which I literally found hysterical once I found the end to it, you were speaking about doing commercial work, because I know you do a lot of commercial work as well as weddings for big brands, the likes of Tatty Lashes.
Right.
So I even remember you like doing this thing for Tatty Lashes, and you built it up in the sense where I thought, oh my God, who is this person that is going to appear? And then you put out that clip of Khloe Kardashian
that I didn't shoot.
Which for me, I was like, I remember going to Beth.
Yeah,
Beth. I was like, Greg's met, not even filmed it. Greg has met Khloe Kardashian, and then like 2 hours later, whoever it was, Greg was like, me DMs have went off their heads. Like I did not film.
I did exactly that same
And do you know
thing.
what's quite funny is, I think I told my cousin last night who we had on the pod. I said we've got like another wedding videographer coming on, like ourselves, first time and all that. I said like he's done this commercial work, Tatty Lashes, Khloe Kardashian, but told him the stories. I found it quite funny how honest she was, and he went, I would have just lied and said I did. That's what he said. Was there a party when you released that saying, I'm not even going to announce that I didn't do it?
So it was funny really because according to Instagram, the best way to boost your profile is via the DMs. Do you reckon the most interaction is through your DMs?
Okay.
Because, social media is called social media, as in like it's social. We're meant to
Chat
converse and chat. Yeah, of course. So I knew that posting that clip of Khloe Kardashian, it'd go mental. I knew it would. Because people are like, oh, Khloe Kardashian. But I had no affiliation with her whatsoever. Like, I knew, because apparently she's got a whole kind of, media team in LA, of course. Like, I don't know if you know where Tatty Lashes is based.
But by us.
Yeah.
Literally around the corner from us.
Yeah, so like,
Formby.
Formby,
yeah. So there was no way she was coming to Formby. That type of thing. It's not Formby, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But anyway.
We're in on the joke, Greg.
Sorry, guys.
So yeah, L20.
But I knew that there'd be an element of people being like, because let's be honest, people are nosy on social media now. They want to know what's going on.
Defo.
So, but I was doing stuff in relation to the Khloe Kardashian stuff, and it was funny really. And then that's why I released it 2 hours later. And then it got to the point where I actually did just delete the Khloe Kardashian clip because it was like, this is a bit silly now. To be honest, I'm gonna have to delete it now. Yeah.
Phone's broke. Nice one, guys.
Oh my God! But it was like
new phone on order.
Like clients who booked in. They were like, have you shot here? And I was like, no. So I ended up doing like a copy and paste reply. I was like, no, I haven't, but, and I, whatever. So I went through all that. But funny. But
what's the Tatty Lashes though?
Oh, it's amazing.
They're like major anyway.
They're crazy busy.
I love their story. Not to go too much into their thing, but I love Tatty Lashes. I think they've just I think for the thing, because they're from Liverpool and all that, it's just a lovely story. I think like they're really out there doing it.
What I found interesting actually from a wedding supplier perspective is that when I posted about it, like working for Tatty Lashes, all the makeup artists that I'd ever worked with have messaged me going, oh my God, they're the only lashes I use on the wedding day. And I was like, that's amazing. Like, I didn't realise how
the connection
big they were. Yeah. So that was amazing, really, yeah. And obviously, brilliant for them, obviously.
Beautifully rounded up, I think, to go on to question time, because we have got tons of questions. And
is this going to be the one and only time that Beth speaks in this whole pod when she does a little jingle?
Possibly, you have been
you can't. After you did it last week, I thought, don't ever do that again.
Oh, no. All right, nice
it's all Beth's world, this.
Thanks.
Get your questions ready, but go on, Beth.
Oh, thanks, Greg. I've seen you put something on your story there. Fucking hell. These questions are...
Have you actually got a load of questions?
Yeah, because a lot of them, normally, a lot of the questions come from, like, not suppliers. Let's put it that way. So we never really talk. So when people send questions in, we won't go like, oh, Julie sent a question in, where today you've seemed to have got loads of questions from suppliers. So I will say, this is from this supplier, because you might know them and you might go, oh, shout out them or whatever. Okay. So yeah, so let's do it.
Bethany?
It's question time.
I'll just start off. Gary Barker, he hasn't even sent a question. He's just put,
where's my video?
It's got to be me next. That's what he's put. Have you promised him a video or something? Yeah. What have you promised him now?
I shot a wedding where he was obviously singing. And
Destination or?
No, Peckford.
Oh, nice.
Castle, yeah.
Nice.
And Gary's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you know Gary, he's brilliant.
We love him, yeah.
But he always rings at the most inappropriate times when I'm like putting the kids to bed or like I'm sat on the toilet or something, do you know what I mean?
That's
and I'm
so
like,
Gary.
So I think last time he rang, I was actually doing something with the kids or whatever. And then like he obviously sent a text saying like, wait, how are you getting on with that? And I'm like, oh, sorry Gary. So yeah, sorry Gary.
Sorry, but Gary wants to be on the pod.
I owe Gary pictures as well.
Do you?
Yeah.
Gary's saying he wants to be on the pods, but I don't even think he listens, so... Well, who does? I looked around the room and was like, you don't listen, she doesn't listen, I have to listen for editing and you have to proof it.
Yeah, go on.
Anyway.
Swiftly on.
You did mention this before, which is a common question, and I'm going to ask you it. You don't have to answer, obviously. But it's from a supplier, Bake My Day, Liverpool.
Okay.
What is your favourite venue to shoot?
Favourite venue to shoot? So I've got a new one.
Okay.
So I have actually got, I mean, I've got an answer for this now. Because
I feel like I know what it's going to be, but I'm not going to... And I'm guessing off your socials why I'm going to guess what I think it is. Is it Hawkston?
Well, let Greg tell us.
All right. Well,
Middleton Lodge.
Middleton Lodge. Have we shot there? Middleton?
No, but
I feel like we have.
It's like it's in the northeast. It's no,
we haven't.
It just kind of, it just looks amazing without trying.
Okay.
I know a lot of the venues that, like, you know, we typically shoot at, for example, amazing venues.
Yeah.
But a lot of them will be having a lot of money spent on them to kind of, you know, the bigger floristry and setup and all that. Yeah, yeah. Whereas this was kind of like the gardens itself were just perfect to shoot in. And if my wife's listening to this, she'll be going, "Oh, in bloom, the gardens and all that." Because Paul and my second shooter just went on about them for ages and she was telling people about these gardens. But yeah, it's just a gorgeous venue without really trying. And the staff were amazing as well, yeah. So that obviously helps on the day of the
How many
Shout out Middleton Lodge before we go on.
Shout out. Have you shot there loads or just the once?
Just the once, yeah.
It's crazy how the impact of just shooting somewhere once can...
Yeah.
The only reason why I said Hawkston was because I've only shot there twice, but every single time I've been, I felt like... obviously, it's a gorgeous venue, do you know what I mean?
Gorgeous,
and so many different elements to it, isn't it? And you said yourself how much you loved it.
Yeah.
And
Shout
again,
out Lily, by the way.
Lily, I was going to say, because Lily looked after you the day. She was just spot on. I think, you know, at venues, sometimes it's about the venue being great, but also the staff that look after you. You know what I mean? 3-course meal. You know what I mean? Can't go miss. No pressure, guys.
To be fair, like, yeah.
I was saying that sometimes 3 courses is a little bit too much.
I mean, you basically just finished exactly what I was going to say then. I was like, I never say no to a 3-courser, but you know, when you get to like the final course, you're like, oh, I should really stop.
Yeah.
Sticky toffee? Okay then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I'll have to do them all night.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing Joel Videography is a podcast that you went on, was it?
No, he's just a follower. Just an
Right.
Yeah,
Why did I think that was the podcast that you went on?
That was the Think Wedding Business podcast.
But is he not connected to that?
No. I think he's got his own podcast.
That's where it is.
But I haven't
That's
been
where
on
you're
that.
connecting them there.
That's where I'm getting it. He is asked, how does he get all of his behind the scenes content?
I bring a shooter with me to film it all.
Simple.
So Paula,
Sometimes it's Paula and sometimes it's just...
again, depends on the size of the wedding. I think I found that, again, it is a bit of a self-centered move, having someone film you all day, because I don't think by any means that I am worthy of being filmed. But you know yourself, on the day of the wedding, you'll have moments like just like little connectivity.
Someone sort of seeing this.
Yeah. And you think like did you see one? I put one up the other week.
There was one, the whole one, was it? That was so clever, you know, really
but
clever.
that's something that like we just say normally, but now that it's actually captured.
Say it though, because they might not have heard
So
it.
basically, like I was trying to direct this bride, Romy, her name is, just putting her earring in, and she went, "Oh, I can't find me hole," like that, and I just went, "Don't say that later." Obviously, referring to the groom type of thing. So yeah,
you know that.
On for the grooms out there.
Bit of a slapstick. But yeah, no, it was something funny. But again, obviously the way it was edited and stuff, it just cut off, and it was like Romy and Michael, BTS coming soon.
It's
you know
so
what I mean?
It was so clever. I really admit that it was really clever.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm an admirer, massive admirer. The next one is, it's great that loads of suppliers are getting in touch, because I say on most podcasts it's all just audience, guests, people you never heard of. But Willow and Wild have sent a question in.
Oh, it's happening. Me mate.
And she's put, when is Greg coming back to Scotland to shoot a wedding with me? I miss his face.
When you start referring me. No, do you know what? I genuinely, like, I think it was probably about 2021, 22 when we come out of COVID and stuff. They had a lot of weddings where, like, obviously, again, it was kind of panic buying. You know, everyone was coming out of COVID. Oh,
definitely, yeah. Last minute bookings.
It was all busy, wasn't it? It was crazy. And she has a lot of couples who are like, we want to add video on. But obviously, all the videographers that she speaks to up in Scotland were relatively busy. And I was
so she's based in Scotland now. We found out from
Sarah.
She's
from Liverpool, yeah, but she's based in Scotland now. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because I thought you were hanging around with them loads at one point. Like.
Yeah, they're my good mates, to be fair. Yeah, Vicky and Mark, yeah, brilliant. But yeah, no, like I say, yeah, if I get asked to be in Scotland, then
Shout
I
out
will,
Will and Wow, by the way.
Shout out. It's funny that a couple of podcasts ago, Sarah at the Paper Doll,
They were there.
she
They
done
were
it.
there,
They
shooters,
did their wedding.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
Vicky, I don't think Mark shoots, does he?
No.
Yeah. So it was Vicky who shot
Yeah.
her wedding in Vegas, of all places, by the way.
Wow.
Get in touch, guys. You're getting married in Vegas, honestly. I want to go to Vegas. That's what it is. Another supplier, someone who listens to the podcast and always gives us loads of great feedback. Can you guess who it is? No, I don't, because you'll get it wrong. It's our good friend, Makeup by Carla Knight. And she's asked, what's your favourite part of a wedding day and why? What's yours, right?
Speeches.
You've just robbed mine.
Don't ask me the question then.
I hate speeches.
Do you?
I hate speeches.
Because you want to edit them?
No, I don't really listen to them on the day of the wedding. So
Seriously?
Yeah, because I'm just so focused on what's going on, like on the cameras. Do you know what I mean? And making sure the audio's right and stuff like that. But my favourite part is probably the portrait session or bride prep.
Okay.
So I feel like at bride prep, I always go in. I wouldn't say I've got like a set amount of questions that I'll ask, but I'll walk in and I'll go like, "How you feeling?" And they go, "Yeah, fine, yeah, good, yeah." And then,
Icebreakers.
yeah, if you want to call it that. But then, like, progressively throughout, before they do, like, the first look with the dad or the parents or whoever, I'll ask them again. I go, "How you feeling?" And they go, "Oh, well, yeah, all right, yeah." And I always think it's dead, like, how can I explain it again? Like, they're so kind of...
It's a wave, isn't it?
Like, vulnerable. And it's just, like, for us to be a part of that, it's just insane, like, do you know what I mean? Again, so lucky to be a part that, like, actually they want us in the room with them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
I think what you said then in terms of the morning side, you see, obviously, the bride or the groom, whoever it is you're dealing with on the day, the emotion that they go through. And I think people who are listening,
Wave,
brides
yeah.
and grooms, it is a massive, like, wave effect, isn't it? Like, 1 minute
100%.
you're just like, yeah, I feel that fine. And then something like putting your dress on, seeing your flowers, you know, seeing your kids, or what, something will just go, wow, woof, a wave of like emotion. And as you said then, for us to witness that and be a part of it is insane.
Definitely.
What's your favourite part, Beth?
Reveals.
Reveals?
Yeah. Reveals for me.
Any reason why?
I just love it.
Beth, what are you doing
I
today?
always feel like it's always like the person you don't expect to cry.
Ryan?
Who cries on the
think that's
reveal, and I
expected
just
now.
love it. It's just
Yeah.
so raw. Especially if they don't like pay attention to us in the room.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I had it the week at Cole Show where the dad walked in. But sorry, just before I let him in the room, I was like, right, just give me just a few seconds just to get in, get myself set up, as you do. He went in, don't be filming me. And I come in that room, and there was like 3 of us in the room. I thought,
the point.
I was like, no, I won't film you, mate, I promise.
Yeah.
And luckily he didn't come in and make a big fuss out of us. He was fussed with us. He burst out crying. I think that's why he didn't want us to be filming.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as I said to him, in a couple of years' time, mate, you'll understand why how important this moment is.
Yeah,
and that goes for
100%.
people who are contemplating. I think, I know with this podcast we don't try and be preachy, but I always advise people to do a reveal, because it's something that you look back on in years and it's valued a lot more than maybe
100%.
not at the moment, but afterwards. And my favourite part of the day is the speeches, I must admit.
Really?
I feel like the reason why mine is because, probably similar to Ryan's, where I think in certain speeches, people let a vulnerable side of them out to the whole room.
That is exactly the reason.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And I just sort of, 1, respect it, and 2, connect to it as well, and go, wow, that's like...
I think that's what it is for me, is like, that's the point in the day. Like, I love the couple shots. I love the prep in the morning, because it's the time where you can be like a bit of a character and all. Everyone's buzzing and all the girls are around having a little laugh, and you can get in that world. But for the speeches, for me, is the vulnerability factor and the fact that you can relate. When people telling their stories about themselves or their connections to the whoever it might be, whether it's dad to daughter, which is typically the one that gets me the most, or like the lads to their mates and things like that. But I've seen and heard so many like real heartfelt moments during the speeches that have really, really stuck with me and will always stick with me forever. Like, you know, I'm not going to go into any particular examples of it, but ones that I just think I'll always remember that forever. That's like the whole meaning for why we do it, isn't it? To give them those memories, and somehow within that mix, they give me those memories that I'll never forget. And it kind of gives you a bit of perspective. I think we talked about it with Steve as well. It gives you perspective on your own life sometimes.
Definitely.
Like when you hear stories about if someone's like recently passed away, or someone's turned ill, or someone who couldn't make it, or anything like that, you kind of relate to yourself and you just think, God, how fortunate am I that I've got these people in my life. And
100%.
that for me is why I love the speeches the most.
Ryan walks away like an emotional wreck. He's like,
Oh, it's terrible. I'm bad, you know.
That's why I tend not to listen to them, you know, on the day.
Are you an emotional person, are you?
Oh, mate, so emotional, yeah. Like, very emotional. I actually cried, was it yesterday, or might have even been this morning? Like, my daughter mentioned something. She had a sleepover in my sister-in-law's, and picked it up this morning, and she mentioned something about heaven. And, like, you know, I'm gonna end that there, because I'm going
I was just
like, oh my God.
Don't, Greg.
Oh,
Don't do
is
it.
it bad that I wanted just to cry?
Actual thought about it, and I was just like, oh my God. Okay.
Put a positive spin on it, and we'll move on to the last question actually that we've got, and it says, how soon in advance do we need to book? We haven't even really went into that side of like the business elements of booking yourself, but how far in advance do we need to book you? Someone's asked.
No,
that is like a common
What's your
question.
furthest wedding in the future at the moment?
furthest wedding. I mean, the 2026 diary's open. I mean, I won't really go more than 2 years, to be honest. I have a bit of a gripe with that, though, because I think, like, I obviously my diary's open for 2026, so 25, 26 I'm taking bookings for.
Yeah.
However, my gripe is that when people buy these kind of off-the-shelf wedding planners on Amazon and whatever, it'll always say on it, contact your videographer and photographer 12 months before.
Seriously?
That's just
If you actually have a little look on Google later, or Amazon or whatever, and it'll say, like, it'll give you like a timeline of when you should be contacting your suppliers.
Wow.
It's like, book your venue, book your registrar, book your whatever, and then 12 months in, it always says videographers and photographers. Now, if you're booking 2 years in advance, there's a chance that you're gone.
Yeah.
And you're busy.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'd always say, if you know in your head what you want to do and where you want to go and, you know, who you want to book and all that type of stuff, just do it. Don't mess around.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I do hate to talk about it online, because I feel like it always comes across as a bit of a sales point.
Yeah, it does,
And
but
it's like,
it's
you know,
not.
book me now. You know, inquiries, come and get me. And it's like, no, it's like, genuinely, if you want me to film your wedding, just tell me. Do you know what I mean? We'll talk.
And you must get it a lot. We get it a lot. And we had it last week where someone contacted us last year about August next year, and at the time she just like, not ghosted us, but just did never get back to us explaining the reason why she didn't want to book us or anything like that. And then last week got in touch saying, oh yeah, you know, I've still got day free, and you haven't got a day free. And there's a part of you that's gutted as well, because you're like, oh, I'd love to do that.
We spoke about this before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Like, when you really care, which I think all of us kind of testament to that we do, like that initial,
it's not about
like,
the money.
That initial inquiry is your initial, like, hello, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then when you build like like a bit of a rapport with those people, and then you really want them to book, and they're given all the signs that they want to. Obviously, for one slightly selfish point of view, you want it to know that your business has the longevity that you wish it does. But the second part is you understood what their day looks like, you know who's there, you know where it is, and you get excited to be at that day. And then if they do, like, ghost you, as it's being called the term, or just don't book you for a long time, you're a bit like, oh, someone else has come in for that now. And that's happened to me loads of times, where someone's just left it that little bit too long, and obviously you give them the heads up, like, oh, someone's coming for your date, which I think, again, like you've just said, to the people might feel like a bit of a sales thing, like you're trying to like push them or pressure them to like pick you, and then like they go, oh no, well just give it to them then, and you just think, I don't want to. You asked me first, and I've made that connection to you now. And then sometimes it doesn't work out.
I do think, because of, like, you know, this kind of recession that, you know, the UK's just come out of, and whatever. There's well, I mean, officially.
He's never filming in the UK. He's always in.
I know, yeah, that's why he's alright.
The point being is that, like, I think a lot of people still are shopping around. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not very. I wouldn't say I'm not transparent with my prices. If people inquire, I will send me prices. I don't have a set fee, because of, like, you know, if I charged X, Y, and Z for shooting in Liverpool, and then I price the same to shoot down in London, that'd be silly. Obviously, you've obviously got to put your travel in.
Of course,
yeah. But like I say, I try and tailor it to the couple, because, and it's not necessarily, I've seen like a lot of these Americans who do like a la carte style wedding menus.
A la carte?
Yeah, but you know what I mean, where they'll go like, well, you want the speeches, you want this, so I'll kind of tailor a package to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, people are shopping around. I think people are naturally a bit tighter with money, and quite rightly so, because, you know, I mean,
I think and I know what you're saying in terms of when you say like people are watching the budgets a lot more when they come to when they're planning a wedding and stuff. But we've always said, and I said it the other day to Abby actually, because we were speaking about, you know, if she ever got married and stuff like that. We were just speaking about weddings in general, planning your own wedding sort of thing. And you've went through that process of planning a wedding. But now that you've got married, I probably know your answer what it would be, and you would always put your money where your photo and video are concerned, and my added one is entertainment. I'm a big fan of entertainment side of things on a day, so mine would always be photo, video and entertainment. And they're obviously for my personal reasons, but I think that's probably one of the reasons what you were trying to.
But that's why I try not to talk about it too much, because I feel like it just comes across like a sales pitch, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
But it's true, because because as I say, we've always said it's the last thing that you've got once the wedding's said.
Once the wedding's over.
And I can see Ryan's. Go on, do it. Go for it.
All right, okay.
No questions.
So, I don't know if you've watched any of the podcast, but we always like to give back to our guests who give us their valuable time. We don't pay you, sadly, yet. But we do. we do hand over a little keepsake that you can take home with you. If you're a coffee drinker.
One of your coffees.
It's quite ironic, really.
Which is an I'll chat mug.
Love it.
Which has become very sought after these days. That's
for
you.
Walking home with fucking loads of you. Lego sets.
Kids will be made up.
Before we let you go, we say this to all our guests, not like a diary of CEO, we're going to leave a question for the next guest. But would you come back on?
Would I come back on here?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, of course.
See, we do it on purpose. We ask you while you're on the recording, so they can 6 months
play
time.
Back to you.
Coming back on.
You said
you said you would. Yeah, of course I would. Yeah.
No.
I think it's interesting, really, because again, I mean, if you referring back to the diary of a CEO, he has repeat guests.
Yeah.
But I think the good thing, not just with that, but actually even like personal circumstances, like in 6, 12, 18 months time, the business could be in a completely different position. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I could reduce the amount of weddings and I might be fully focused on Avanza. And so I think it's good to kind of see progression, isn't it, as well? So yeah.
That was one of the reasons why we wanted to get people on. And I think for us, with our guests, like we have, you might see the board over there, we've basically like got, you probably best explain it to me, right, aren't you?
What am I saying?
In terms of like guests that we select. I'm like watching what I say, yeah.
I don't know where you were leading.
Basically, we've handpicked everyone that we basically picked.
Initially, like obviously people we know who we feel like to
top
us,
of the game,
one,
basically,
would come on because they're like the sound, yeah. 2, that they give a good telling of themselves, and because you know people can warm to them, which is another reason. But 3, I'm probably the most vital point. 3, I'm on my 4th finger, is because I didn't cut my thumb. It's because we see the people who we've had on so far, in our opinion, are the top of the game in our immediate locality, which is yourself.
Okay, thank you.
I think, and I think you think it as well. Even
massive,
in the same demographic.
Massive admirer.
Huge admirer. I've always admired you from not only just the work that you put out, which is on obviously a different level altogether, but just from the personal standpoint. When I've asked you questions, especially through COVID and stuff, I think we spoke quite a lot through DMs and things like that, and you were always there for me, really, and I always asked quite difficult. No, but he always asked. I always asked questions related to like how I felt about where I was going, trajectory, and you always gave me the answer. So I appreciate that massively.
Very nice.
No, yeah, I love that.
So yeah, but yeah, if you thought that today's episode, no, I'm not going to do any of that. Remember that time when we used to say like and subscribe?
That was you. That.
It wasn't. It was you.
Wasn't. You used to watch YouTube videos and you knew the script.
We would love obviously people to really give us feedback on all of these shows, because we don't do it enough. We're going
to get loads of listens now. I've seen how many followers we've got off Greg.
Nice one, Greg.
Nice one, Greg.
Nice one, Greg.
Next week's episode, we're going to have guest Greg on again.
There might be a slight, I think it might be worth saying, there might be a slight hiatus of about a week's difference between, we'd like to try and keep these weekly, but there might be a slight gap because both of us are away. You're going to a wedding as guests, and I'm going to Turkey for 10 days.
Nice.
To get me egg and a nest filled in that Beth pointed out a few weeks ago. I'm not actually doing that, by the way. I'm just going to Turkey. But it means that there's going to be a slight gap.
Ryan, come back like that. How are we?
All right, yeah. I'm talking to Turkey, yeah. No, but just want to say thank you for every single person that tunes in every single week. It does make a lot of difference, though, if you do tell us what you think, so we can steer it on the course.
Defo. Subtitles will come as well with that sentence.
Yeah.
Right? It's just,
and also, we didn't mention again, we'll probably put a sponsor in at some point. If you just want to sponsor us.
We have got one lined up in the pipeline, but we just haven't really got a script made up yet.
Let's forget about that anyway. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks for having me.